Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first anniversary stream. Well, I did it. Been here for a year. It's and still going. It's been a little bit about a year and a week since I uploaded this one, and just time to that's time to celebrate. So I have a couple of things doing here. The main thing is probably just like rewatching this old one and kind of, I guess, director's commentary is the best word for it. Then uh I got my guitar here. And my here it is. Ah, stupid amp. Like, I got the guitar here. Gonna hang out and maybe play some stuff later once that's done. And a couple of games we play. Got Half-Life booted up on this thing. TF2 also on it. And then got the Game Boy Advanced later. Granted, I think the only game I have on there is like some ROM hacks and Robopon, which it's Robopon, so not the best game in the world, but it's close enough to Pokemon. It's close enough to Pokemon. So yeah, that's kind of how things are gonna be going here. I guess so the first thing I want to do, though, let me put on some more appropriate music for the occasion. Hang on. There we go. Please no ad. Please no ad. Please no ad. There we go. There we go. Yep. We're going gambling. We're going gambling here, because I gotta. Well, I have a 10 pull on TC's Rocket that I want to do, and granted, unfortunately, I don't know how to connect my phone up to this thing without completely screwing over the stream, so we were probably not going to be able to. You're not going to see it, but I'll try my best to explain what's going on here. I'm not actually gonna like 10 pull because the only thing I really like, the only card like super hardcore wants like some stuff for a Darkrai Dex, and then obviously here the full art Dawn, if you can tell from the channel banner and stuff, Dawn fan. So yeah, I think the plan here is to 2 pull the Palkia pack, 3 pull Shining Rivalry, so that one has the Giratina, and then 5 pull the Dialga to hopefully get either the full art Dawn or like a Darkrai EX or something that I need for it. So yeah, it's kind of how we're gonna start things off tonight. Let's hope the live stream luck is with us. Alright. Here we go. Actually, what? I got 26 minutes on my timer here, so maybe I could pull one Dialga first and then pull the Palkias and the Shining Rivalries and all that. I think that's the plan. So one Dialga, 2 Palkias, 3 Shining Rivalry, and then 5 more Dialgas for a total of 6 Dialgas. Yeah, that sounds like the plan. Alright, let's do this. Go. Oh! Off the top! Pachirisu EX. Hold up. Just off of immediately a Pachirisu EX. Oh, and there's something behind it. Alright, Pachirisu EX. Tangle already got it. Krogan already got it. Amipom already got it. What's behind the Amipom? Demon, full art. Demon, full art. Got the Shaman full art too. Nice. Nice. So, off to a good start here. Off to a really good start. That's two pretty rares. Not to mention 2 more cards to fill out my Space-Time Smackdown card registry. So 1 Dialga, and then I'm gonna do 2 Palkias, 3 Shining Rivalries, and then 5 Dialgas. Yep. I don't know if you can you hear the sound of the game? Or is the casino music too loud? Let me actually see. Let me actually see if you can hear the sound of the no, not really kidding me, but like, anyway, so Palkia, first Palkia path, open up, Apom, yeah, nothing. Ooh, a Cynthia, that's Cynthia and Manatee, so those are 2 new cards, but, you know, nothing too special. Probably can't hear the my thing's not showing sound, so I'm gonna put the casino music on. Turn on this. So 102 out of 155. Space Time Smackdown. Pack 2 of Palkia. Let's go with this one. So far, let's see here. I got the Cynthia, and then I got the Manaphy as well from that one. Right on. Yeah, that's right on team. That's it. Yeah. Didn't get anything for the Palkias, which is unfortunate. How rare is the Sneasel from this set? It shouldn't be that rare. It's a stage 1 Pokemon. There's a 6% chance to pull. How did I? Yeah, and it's a common, so I should have been able to grab it, but whatever. Right on. Added into the decks here. Alright, so that's 2 packs. Space Time Smackdown. Gonna do 3 of Shining Rivalry and then 5 of Palkia. Or not Palkia, Dialga. Shining Rivalry is the one with the Garantina, correct? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because I already used up the... Let me just double check here to make sure I'm using the right set. Yep, it's the right one. It's got the Giratina. I'm going to pick this one. Piglet. Yeah. Griffin. Como. Yeah, nothing. Nothing. I mean, all of them are new cards. That's because I barely ever pull from Shining Rivalries. 72 cards set, 8 cards registered. Alright, one more. Well, 2 more can really. Alright. That one. Wiki, Guff. Wiki. No electrodes, yeah. Nothing in this pack. Nothing. Shining Rivalries, not giving me a whole lot to work with. Alright. Oh, got one more shot. Come on, Garantina. Nah, yeah. Tuna. Yeah. Driftloom, Riveroom, Sprigatito, Punchin. No. Got nothing. Them Shining Rivalries. Big rip. We could build out that deck's a little more. Then, okay, so we did 3. Well, we did 1 Dialga, 3 Shining Rivalries, and 2 Palkias. So now we're gonna do 5 Dialgas. I've been pulling this pack for I don't know how many weeks now, trying to get the full art done. Come on. There we go. Oh, we got something. No, we don't got anything. Ooh, we got a Rampardos. That could be useful, actually. And Magnezone. So 2 new, but like nothing good. Rampardos is nice, I suppose. Alright. Dialga. Again. That's 2 and then 3. Which one do I go for here? I'm going to go this one. Oh, that was shiny. Well, we got something behind this Rotom Rost. It's another Shinx. I already have this one. Nuts. Ah. Darn. Darn. That stinks. One more. Not one more, we got like 3, 4 more. 4 more. And people have hopped in. No one. Yep. That sounds about right. So, are they actually different than any of these packs, or it's just all the same stuff? Oh, that's another shiny one. There's something back here. Apom, Togetic, a Barrel, Voltorb. What do we got? Another Shaman. Another Shaman. Great. 2 Shaman and a Shinx. Just dandy. Alright, give me another hit. Another one. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, yep. Ooh, I got a bronze orb, but and the Keytrain battery had that full art, so eh. The 2 new cards, but nothing good. That's fortunate. I think this is the last one. I believe it would be. Alright, last pack luck. Black pack luck. Alright, bomb. Well, nothing. Or a second giant cave, that'll be useful. Yeah, that's nothing. I got nothing. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Well, that's how TCG Pocket works. That's how that works. Got a bunch of rewards. That's mostly from actually finally opening Shining Rivalries, so I'm not getting some of the codes and whatnot. Just I'm checking out. Yep, 110. And the team decks. Got a couple of Shining Rivalry team decks now because, like I said, this is the first time I think I've opened that pack. That expansion, so. I probably have. Do I have enough of these coins at this point to we actually get the emblems now? I got the Cynthia deck for rent. That's neat. And the Pachirisu one. None of the cards though. Oh wait, I only have 16 I need to grab it. Okay then. Oh, so many missions that I completed there. Hey, I got enough! I got enough emblems to get the Dialga. I got enough points to get the Dialga emblem, whatever that's worth. So yeah, that's the TCG Pocket segment. So I mean, what do we want to do next year? Should I just hop right into the video or what? Yes. You know what? I think I'll play something first and then I'll turn on the volume. I think I'll play something first and then we can get into the video. That's odd. Sorry, my wires all kind of. that's good for the first hour. At least, oh, my hand hurts now. Maybe I should have saved that for later. It was gonna affect things like that, but whatever. So, I guess that means no more delays to the inevitable at this point.
Hey, Pokemon.
Oh God, my mic quality was terrible back then. I mean, it's still bad now, but holy moly. You see. So yeah, finally we'll get into this thing.
So, Pokemon in Japan.
Yeah. Is anyone even here? Probably not. Yeah, no one. Nobody. Just me, myself, and time. Alright. Let's do this. Oh
Hey,
God,
Pokemon
it's terrible.
fans. Today I'm going to be going
So,
over the Pokemon anime Iceberg.
Iceberg. I cannot.
I'm a huge
This video
Pokemon fan.
was
I really
like
Iceberg
2
videos,
years
so I
in
thought
the
it would be
making
fun to make an
before it
Iceberg
actually
video myself.
released. It
Now, I
started
decided to talk about the
like
Pokemon anime because
summer
I never saw an Iceberg video for the
2022.
anime. I saw one for
As you can,
Pokemon
yeah,
in
as you
general.
can see,
I saw some for
July
several different generations, even some
2022.
for some spin-offs,
Like even
but not the show. Which is a shame because, as we'll soon see, there's lots of interesting
like
stuff to talk about.
so.
Now,
God, I
I'm sure you
remember
know
like
this
writing,
Start at the top with
starting
more
writing
well-known
for this when I
facts
was like
and slowly go
in my
deep beneath the
calculus
surface,
class at
more
community
obscure and
college.
weird
That
entries.
was.
So, without further ado, let's begin.
That's kind of like how it started. So I wrote that, and then I sat on it for. No, I didn't sit on it. I think I wrote it down the first month, June,
Kiss with Serena.
and then I recorded all the lines in
This entry is a
July
reference to the ending of X and Y.
and August,
In Serena's final scene
and
before she
then-
leaves, she kisses Ash before saying goodbye forever. Or at
and
least
then
it's heavily
actually like
implied that she
started
does.
editing and
The scene
stuff,
actually pans away from their faces, so we don't actually
like
see what
in the
happens.
summer of 23.
Well, that's what happens in
and,
the English version.
You know,
I'm not
basically
sure if it's
whenever I
different in
had
Japan. I
spare
didn't
time to
watch
like
it in
start editing
Japanese.
and stuff. Most
But
of
at
it,
least
most of
here
the
that's how it
editing was
plays out.
like August 2022. Oh wow, I cannot believe I missed
Electric
that.
Soldier
Green
Porygon.
screen. Ah well.
Electric Soldier
But, like,
Porygon is arguably the most
most of the
famous
editing
and
was August
influential band
2022,
episode
and
in
then
all of anime.
some
In
winter
it, a virus is
2022,
attacking the
some
Pokemon
spring
Center's
break
transport system,
2023,
causing a
then
malfunction that makes Pokemon
editing
disappear from their Pokeballs when transferred over to the center. So Ash
2023
and company,
summer,
with the help
that
of a
was-
Porygon made by the scientist who created the transport
That was
system,
that.
named Dr. Akihibara,
So yeah,
go
that's
into the
why it
cyberspace
took
of the system
2
to
years.
help
So
fix the
that
issue.
took 2 years.
Spoiler, it's
And
Team
then
Rocket.
Winter
This
break
episode was
2023,
banned for its intense
spring
use
break
of flashing
2023
lights.
was
There
mostly
are several scenes where
like
bright,
getting this
strobing,
filter on
red and
and like
blue
making
lights
sure
flash on
like
screen
it
at
was
rapid rates,
good for
causing eye
YouTube,
pain and headaches.
like
This comes to the
making sure it
forefront as
doesn't.
seen towards the end of the
It
episode.
didn't get
where
copyright, which it
Pikachu
did
stops
get
an
copyright, but
incoming
it wasn't
missile
show
from
probably
attacking the
copyrighted. It
crew
was
by using Thunderbolt.
whatever Corpse
Incredibly
of Four
rapid
Kids is
flashing
left,
red and
which
blue lights
that's
filled
easier
the
to
entire screen.
handle.
This was too
Yeah.
much, and it caused over 100 Japanese children
So,
to have to go to the hospital.
First two
for
entries,
epileptic
first one was
seizures.
pretty easy because it
After
was just
this,
something that
Pokemon
happened in
was
the
pulled off
show,
the air
and then
for
this one's
several
also
months,
easy because
excluding the
you know,
coronavirus
shocker,
pandemic.
one of the most
This is the
infamous and
only time
important
this has happened
moments
in
in anime
Pokemon's
history is
20+
very
year
easy to
history.
research.
Changes
like,
were made in the
I guess I should
production
probably
of
talk
Pokemon
about
anime to prevent a
research
situation like
for
this
this,
from
'cause,
ever
like-
happening again. And
Like
the
I showed,
episode
like I
never
put
went
down
to
in the
West
description
in
and
any
the
way.
and in like the pinned
In
comment for the
Pokemon's
sources.
long and
My
storied
main
history,
3 sources
this
for
episode
this
is
were
perhaps the one that
A,
had the biggest
Bubblepedia, obviously,
influence.
B,
It
Sweet's
changed
video,
how
which if
animation
you
in Japan
if you
is made,
are subscribed
with
to
less
me and you
strobing
watch
lights
my
and rapid
stuff,
light changes
go
used
watch
in the
Sweet stuff.
creation of the
It's
animation.
so much better than mine.
It changed how
And then
animation was
Dogusu's backpack,
regulated
which is
in Japan,
adjacent to
where now they
Bubblepedia.
check and censor
Like those are like the
flashing
big
lights in
3
their
that I got
shows.
from, and
If you
specifically
ever wondered why during
Porygon's was
intense fight scenes
very
in
heavy
animes, the lights
on
get dim,
Dogusu's
you can
backpack.
thank this episode. And
he's
lastly,
got like
it changed
so much
Japanese
stuff on
animation
this. 'Cause
culture.
he's really
Anime
this part of
became known and
the show's
stereotyped as
history is
those
really interesting
shows
to him.
with bright lights that give people seizures.
So
This was the thing that the Simpsons
yeah,
parodied.
not
in
too
their
much
trip
to really say.
Japan. So
It's
overall,
before you go
a
into
very
there's
important episode.
it's a lot. There's so much people I know.
Aim for the
Oh,
horn.
this was. I don't really have a lot of
This
story
entry
for
references an
this
infamous
one
scene from episode
in like
55 of the
actually
original
making it, but
series,
like
Riddle Me This. In it,
I'll
Ash
let
is
you know in
fighting
the
the Grand
background.
Flygon
I've been
with
working
Pikachu
on like
during his
short
volcano
versions of each
None of
entry
Pikachu's
to
moves
like
are having
just
an
like
effect.
half throw out
So
for the
Ash
for
tells
like the short
Pikachu to
speed.
aim for, quote,
And this one was so hard to
Pikachu
get
does,
under a
and they
minute.
win the fight.
It was
After
really
it
annoying.
happens, Brock explains
They did
that
eventually do that, but then like they made short 3 minutes, so that was kind of
to
pointless.
detractors of the show,
But anyway.
this moment is the prime example of what is called Pokemon
I love how I
logic.
always use
That
this
is,
clip
stuff that happens
of, like-
in the anime that goes completely against what works in the games,
of like this
and even
one
what makes sense
scene
logically.
from School of Hard Knocks
in
to
the
like
games,
represent
it doesn't
video
matter
game
where
fans
Pikachu hits
who
the electric
like
attack.
don't
Right on the ground type,
care about the
and is
nuances of the
immune to electric
show
moves.
when it comes
period.
to how the battle
In
mechanics work
addition
and
to that,
stuff.
there is also an
But, like,
ability in the game called Lightning Rod, where
yeah,
electric moves
it's
have
not gonna be a
no
whole lot of
effect in a
interesting
double battle
stuff
if a ground Pokemon
in
is in play with
this
that ability.
video
This is
at,
the
like, the
exact
early parts, 'cause
opposite
these are kind of,
effect
like, the
of what
more
happens in the show.
normal-ish
If all this sounds
entries that
bad,
people know.
yeah,
so.
it gets worse. This technique was later
But I suppose that's
retconned in the show
God, I
itself.
love that.
In the
I love
Diamond
that
and Pearl
image
series,
of Dawn.
the Lightning Rod ability
like-
makes its first appearance as an ability of,
Yeah, there's.
of course, a
But, I mean, I suppose that's
neutralizing Pikachu's
that's
Thunderbolt.
the joy
but
of
perhaps
the
an even more
of the
egregious
Iceberg
retcon
video
is back in the
is
original
that
series.
you start off with
during
stuff
Ash's
that people
fourth round fight against
or
Janine's
know
Blood
pretty
Spout.
well.
In
And then
it,
oh
Pikachu
yeah,
uses thunder,
I
but
cannot
Bellsprout
believe I
uses
actually
phase.
this was the one where I
Ashna
accidentally
explains
called her like Janine or something. Oops. But like I caught that. Luckily I caught that
Sound
in
familiar?
editing
It
and
should,
like
because
there's a
it's
little
the
note at the
exact
bottom there.
same
So,
logic
oops.
used to explain the exact opposite effect
But-
of Pikachu's Thunderbolt.
Yeah, that was
Overall,
that's
very
the
sloppy,
kind of like
but
best
hey,
parts
the
of
memes
the
are
Iceberg.
pretty
Is
good,
that
I
like,
guess.
hey, these early parts you know and you feel good for knowing, and then when you get to the bottom parts with stuff you don't know, then you get real excited
Poor Kids albums.
or like learning something new. Okay, this part was the part that
Throughout their time as the dubbers
that
of
got
Pokemon
super
games
hardcore
in the US,
copyrighted because
Cool
I
Kids had released several
I
albums
used
with music from
way
throughout
too
the
long
run of the
clips
series.
of
Some
the
are a bit
video
basic,
of like
such as
the
release
music,
of the first movie album,
which
you guessed it, contains
that
music
caused
from
issues.
Mewtwo Strikes Back.
So, a couple of things about this one. This was not what I originally had. The reason why it's so low res is because it was a last minute edition. Because originally I had the first movie's OTS
Some,
as
however,
the
are a bit
picture
more
for that.
interesting, such as
But
the 2-bit
that was the
Master
wrong
album,
picture,
which contains a
so
lot
I
of
needed
Porky's original
to
music,
put
such
in
as
the new one, and that
2
was kind of
Master.
rushed. And, you know, like I said, all this music here, this is the part that got this video copyrighted. Like, which I'm super happy with, because
Viridian City.
that's way, because like whatever company is managing 4Kids music these days is way less
What kind of Pokemon are you?
aggressive and angry as ShowPro. ShowPro is the devil, and they are so rough when
And
it comes
of course,
to
the original
all
theme
this
song.
kind of stuff involving copyright. This one also got copyrighted, but that was by Pokemon. So, I mean, really all I need to do to get this reapproved for like monetization stuff, if I ever get one, I suggest cutting these parts
There's
into like
also the
less than
follow-up,
5 seconds
Toad
and stuff.
Pokemon, with Johto music, such as the Johto
Like, yeah,
theme
this is
song.
just stuff from the actual like albums and stuff, so there's not much to it. So I'm just gonna keep talking though, because I don't want this. I mean, it's gonna get copyrighted anyway because I already played the guitar and typed wild, which, oh boy, that's gonna get copyrighted by Show. So hopefully it doesn't get on my radar.
For girls,
Whatever. So the more interesting part is gonna be when we talk about the Christmas album. So yeah.
and Pikachu, I Choose You.
I like True for the Girls for some reason. I think it's catchy. That's why I used it during the proc entries. That was, so yeah.
There's lots of other albums out there as well,
Yeah.
but perhaps the most interesting of them all
God,
is the Pokemon
so
Christmas
low
Bash.
resolution. Why didn't
As
I?
the name suggests,
I-
it's a Christmas album.
I gotta
with most of the
learn.
original
Well, first
songs
off,
sung by
well,
the
before I
voice
talk about that, I'm
cast
gonna
of the
talk about
series.
Christmas album. So
Thumbs wide.
pretty much most of my
Hey,
information for
we hear
the
the
Christmas album
Pokedex
comes from
dropping freaking
the OJ's
rap
video,
bars.
which shocker. One of the YouTubers I take a lot of inspiration from is where I get a lot of my information from. So yeah. I wish I was more snarky about like the
This
poker
is the
shipping
first voice you
nuke
hear in
and
the
stuff.
album,
Whatever.
as well as
But
Meow
So
talking
anyway,
about how great
God,
Christmas is and how Yom Kippur is
the
stinking.
the owl art's so crunchy looking. Why didn't I? Cause like now I know you gotta go into the
And,
actual
most
like file
infamously,
for the
Ash
mobile
and
media
Misty
thing to
singing
download
about
the
being
high
under
resolution
the
pictures. Instead of
mistletoe.
just clicking.
Ash, did you
Instead of
realize
just
we're
like
standing
clicking
under
on
the
the
mistletoe?
the image on the article, because that one's really low res because you know it's on an article. It's just like a little thing on the side, whereas the big like nice looking one is gonna be
Truly madness.
like on the file profile, whatever.
Pikachu's ketchup obsession.
This is another one where
This is sort of
where
a
there's not a
running
whole
gag
lot
of
to
the
it,
series, though
but
calling it that is a bit of a stretch.
like
We'll get to
shoutouts
that.
to the
Either
the
way, it all
Mobilepedia
starts in
articles
episode
that
39 of the
all
original
the
series,
episodes
Showdown
where
at Dark City.
this appears
In
because
it,
they
we see
they had
Pikachu
no
eating
reason
ketchup
to
throughout
like
the episode,
show,
and thoroughly
oh hey,
enjoying
this
it.
is where the
We
Pikachu
see
ketchup
him
thing
eating
is,
it in
and
the
this is
restaurant. We see
the
him
next
bringing it
episode
out
it
of the
happens
restaurant
in.
to continue eating
But
it.
that
We see
was
him
really
really
helpful
lost
making
it
this
when
way
Cyclops slices
easier
the bottle.
at
It's
like
great,
to
it's
like
cute, Pikachu's
keep track of
adorable.
the stuff and to be able
Now,
to research
take
it.
a guess
So
at which episode
that
next
was
makes
nice.
reference to Pikachu's love
That
of
was
ketchup. Later in the Indigo arc, sometime during the
good
Orange
on them.
League,
That was
early Johto,
I appreciate
No.
that.
episode 2 of the Advanced Generation. Over 200 episodes later,
This wasn't
we see
originally
Pikachu
on that
eating ketchup
article
from a
actually.
bottle.
It used to be
Whenever the next
the
time
common
after
wisdom
that,
used to be
in
that
X and
it
Y,
was Showdown Dark
season
City and then
17,
X and
episode
Y's
30,
Mega Revelations.
After
But
Karina uses the
apparently
condom
sometime
to scare
between someone
Pikachu
noticed, hey,
coughing in
Pikachu's
her
totally
scrapbook,
drinking
Pikachu
ketchup
eats the ketchup
in that
and
one scene
chews
in
and
Advanced
enjoys.
Generation. So now
That's
that's
over 450
so now it's those
episodes
three.
that go by before the show's
that
appearance.
was so
You
that
see
was
why I
cool. That
struggle
was
to call this a running gag.
power of a Wikipedia like
Anyways,
thing. You can
after
change
that,
the
we're off to
information
the
to
races, as
wait
X and
for
Y
whenever
would
you
have
learn
the
something
ultimate
new.
culmination of this gag in
Anyway.
its 8th Japanese ending, Pikachu's song. In this, we see
This
Ash and
scene,
Pikachu
this
alongside a
video
bunch
is
of other
actually not
Pikachus
on
singing,
YouTube anymore. I
dancing,
got the
and
video
climbing
of this,
giant ketchup bottles
but
in
it's now
celebration
got
of their love of
got
the
killed by the
continent.
Showpro ninjas. So
Long live the Hines!
so you know it's you're seeing something that you wouldn't normally see on YouTube
Rice
because Showpro
balls.
killed it.
This
Oh boy,
is an
I
onigiri,
I was
better
so
known as a
disappointed
rice
that I
ball
wasn't
here
able
in the
to
West.
find
As
that I
the
wasn't
name
able to like
implies,
cite
it is a
cite
ball
the-
of sticky rice
the
filled with
images for
all
this
kinds
because
of tasty stuff.
it was literally
It
I
is
literally
also
just googled it
very Japanese.
and that was
when
it.
you
So I
think of
didn't
Japanese cuisine,
keep track of that.
you
That's
think of rice
my
balls.
fault. Oh
For
man.
4 kids, that was unacceptable. Japanese food
God, that
in a show made in Japan.
that Fork is logo is so
We
bad.
can't show that to American
I can't believe I
kids.
got that joke in.
And so, in
Anyway.
episode 24 of the original series, Primate Goes Bananas, Brock calls
But yeah,
and emphasizes that the rice balls he made for the group are jelly-filled donuts.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
And so, memery ensues.
God, I love that Brock
But
meme
this
right there
wasn't the
so
only time
so
that
much.
4Kids censored rice
You know,
balls in the
obviously
show.
that's
They
why I put
also
it
censored
in.
them in
So.
the advanced generation. This time,
Yeah, oh
they did
god, that
things
looks
such
so
as
bad.
replace a giant
It
rice ball with
looks
a giant
so
cookie,
bad.
or
It doesn't really look like
replacing
it's
a
from the
rice ball
same
like
show,
Team Rocket Man with a
man.
cracker.
Come on, 4Kids.
As time went on, 4Kids eventually lost the dubbing rights to Pokemon, and so the rice ball was no longer
God, my
censored.
voice sounds so
However,
bad.
also as time went on,
It's like
Pokemon as
so
a brand became much,
like I was
much
watching
larger.
my new
and so the
video
anime slowly stopped
like
using
earlier
rice
today
balls in the
after I
first place
released it,
in order
and
to have
the audio
much
is so
broader
much better on that
global
one.
appeal.
I mean, I guess that
Nowadays,
makes sense
you'll
because
find the group more
it's been a
often
year and I
eating
know more.
sandwiches or
A, I
soup
have
than
better
they will a
technology.
rice
B,
ball. Either way,
I
it's
know
an
what I'm
interesting
doing.
history.
You know, the closet that I record stuff in, it's not all padded
Pikachu's
out and stuff, and I'm
jukebox.
not recording it on top of the giant
Pikachu's
stack.
Jukebox
That's like
was
kind
an
of an
endless show
echoey area.
segment made for the English dub of Pokemon.
So
It was a replacement for the Poker app that began.
I don't know,
after
maybe in
episode
like
52 of
5-10
the show
years,
and continued
I just
until the start
remaster
of the
this
Johto
with
series.
better
This is a
audio,
segment
but I'm
where
not
you
going
would
to do
hear
it
a
now
lot of the
because
music associated with
if I
the
do
fourth
that,
era
I'm
of the
going
show.
to basically
To be a
remake.
master,
I'm gonna inevitably want to remake the entire thing, and then I'm never gonna make a new video. So yeah, not gonna do. That's not a good idea. So
Meridian
kind of
City.
just talking here because there's nothing really to talk about with this segment. Like this is like obviously the top parts of the iceberg are a little bit
Together
fillery
Forever.
because there's some of the more well-known stuff. But like this is really fillery because it's literally just a part of the show. It's just a part of it that everyone sees at the end.
Etc. Not
So-
much to say here. It's pretty straightforward and well known.
So there's not a whole lot.
Misty's
Okay,
lure.
so this is the first one where I had to like
Misty's
really
lure, or
addendum
Misty's special
because
lure, as it's
Misty's
officially
lures
called,
does
is a
appear later in the
reoccurring item
show,
we see
and I
throughout
don't
the
mention
series.
that because
It makes its debut
because
in the band episode
I-
Legend of
when I
Cthulhu,
made this
but makes its English
this
debut in
video,
either
I
Side
decided
Cthulhu or in
mostly to
Highland Guard.
stay away from
Other
like
appearances of
journeys
the
and
lure
stuff
include the Totodile
because
Duel and
for two
Hook, Line, and
reasons. Number
Sinker
one,
in
it was
the Johto
new, and
series.
so any
In
new
the Next
information
Generation episode, The
comes and goes
Unbeatable
and becomes
Lightning at Sea,
updated and
Ash
outdated as
receives
time
the lure
goes
as a
on.
gift from Misty. Ash would later use
Like to
this
put in
lure
perspective,
down
I
with her
started
in
writing
season
this
10, episode 34,
like
using
in the
lure
middle
this.
of
Even giving the lowdown about Misty
in, like,
at dawn when he brings
I
it
think
up.
like before the
I've never
Masters
seen
even
a
8
lure
8
like
even
that.
started.
This?
So
I got this from Misty
that
a long
didn't
time
happen.
ago.
You know, all the stuff with
Misty?
Ash leaving and stuff
Right.
didn't
She's
happen.
a friend of
Horizons
ours
was
who's now the cerulean
nowhere
gym
to be
leader.
seen at this point.
Oh.
So
And if you think Ash's lure is the one Misty lure out there,
that's
well, you're wrong.
so like that's how
Misty also gives Lana
that's
a lure
how
in Sun
old
and
like
Moon.
this project was.
I guess
the
Misty
time.
just keeps
And
lures
then,
in the shape of herself everywhere she
uh,
goes.
The thing is, the Iceberg itself is from late Sun and Moon, so there wouldn't be anything from Journeys Time. So that's why I didn't decide not to mention anything from Journeys and Beyond for the most part. With that said, yeah, like I said, Misty's lure does
Beauty and the
appear
Beach.
in Aim to Be a in the Aim to Be a Master
Beauty and the
part
Beach
of
is
Journey.
yet
So
another
yeah.
banned episode from the
Oh boy,
original
this
series,
segment,
although it did
this
get an
one,
English dub this time,
I-
played as a lost episode. It's a beach.
I
episode.
didn't.
You know
I feel
how
like
beach
I.
episodes go.
This is probably one
Ash
of the
and
ones
company
that
get
I
into
regret the
shenanigans that
most
leads
in
them to
terms of
shore on a
like
boat.
how I
And the
did it,
adult comedy
because
antics only escalate from
realistically,
there.
I should have just gone with.
Contrary to
I should have just
popular
towed the
belief,
line and say,
James'
"Oh yeah,
inflatable
it was for
breasts weren't
the
what
it was for
actually
the
caused this
cross-dressing
episode to get
scene."
banned.
And like,
No, the real reason the episode got banned
I
was
should have just said
because
it was
of
the
its overt
cross-dressing scene that
sexualization of
caused it
Misty,
to be
a character who is at best 12
banned
and
and
at
stuff,
worst
and then
10.
afterwards mention,
Either
okay,
way,
hey, yeah,
yikes.
this is what got it banned,
We
but
see
also
this
this
all
stuff in the
throughout
episode is terrible and I hate it
The
and
old
it's
guy
awful.
whose boat Ash
but-
and the gang destroyed.
No, I went,
he
oh, this
pervs on
part that I
Misty
don't like about the episode, the reason why it's
hard.
banned, which
In
it
addition,
realistically
in
is not.
order
I
to
mean,
clear
it
off
is
the
bad.
boat, the
It
gang
is
enters
bad,
Misty into
but
the swimsuit competition,
it's not
which
why
she
it got
says,
banned.
quote,
And I should have just stuck with that, the real reason why it got banned, and then
finally,
talked about
let's go
this
back to
stuff
the James booby scene.
afterwards, and like
Take your eyes away
actually,
from James's
because like
titties
now
for a
it
few
feels
seconds and
like
actually listen to what Jesse's
I'm kind
saying
of
here.
wrong
She's
about it, which
basically
I mean I
body shaming
am,
Misty,
but like
calling her body immature and poking fun at her breast size
Still,
compared to hers.
it's-
Again, no matter how you
yeah,
slice it,
so like yeah,
Misty
that's
is
kind of. I
progressive.
wish I did this
So this is just
differently.
all kinds
Wish I
of messed up.
did that way. I should have been like, oh,
In the English dub, they changed
I'm
a
gonna.
few things to try to make it
I'm
less
just repeating
egregious.
myself at this
They
point, but like
changed what
yeah,
the old guy says to make it less pervy.
part
but
I'm least
admittedly,
proud
what
of
they
with
changed it to
this
isn't that much better.
with this video. So
You remind me of my granddaughter.
And they
God, I just
completely
want
removed the
this
body
to end because
shaming
I
scene.
really hate this
However,
episode. This is like
The main plot of
usually a
Misty
bottom
entering
10
the King
episode
competition is
of
unchanged,
Pokemon.
and
It's that
arguably
bad.
can't
It's
be
just
changed
such
due
a
to how
bad
central it is to
episode.
the plot.
Oh my
And
god,
so,
I can't believe I
hasn't aired since, nor can
just
you find it on
noticed
any
that
streaming service.
that
Now,
thing at
this is
that
one that I'm okay with.
I just noticed the Pokeflix little thing at the timeline at the bottom.
Sammy is
That's
Professor Oak.
really sad.
This entry is about how it is
That
heavily
I
suggested
cannot-
that
well,
Sammy from the fourth
lessons
Pokemon
learned,
movie
I-
is a young Professor Oak.
I never
There's
noticed.
lots
I
of
never
evidence
noticed that
towards
before.
its
I never
conclusion.
noticed
Both Sammy
me
and
accidentally
Professor
showing the
Samuel
timeline
Oak
for
have
that
the same
before.
first name. Sammy
I
is
never
said to have
noticed
come
that.
from 40
Wow.
years in the past, which lines up
Anyway,
with Oak's age.
this
And Sammy's
segment
physical appearance,
was interesting because
such as
like I
his hair
originally
color
had
and
it
eye color,
talk
matched
about
what
the
we know
the
of
like
young
whole
Professor
Sammy's
Oak.
Professor Oak
The dagger, however, is
like
at the end of the movie.
period and
When
stuff.
Ash discusses the events that just happened with Oak
And, like,
assures
I
Ash that
worded
Sammy
it
and them will always
In
be
a
friends.
way to where this part was in this section and then the Celebi special edition thing was in its own segment and like
Oak says this
information
despite
that
the
was
fact that Ash never
useful
spoke
to
of
that one I
Sammy's
didn't
name,
put in
as
here even
pointed
though
out
I
by
really
Misty.
should have because it's important to the
What's the matter,
like this
Misty?
like the actual thing stuff and like that caused some issues where like people who watched this part but didn't watch all the way to the Celebi special edition didn't catch on that and so they thought I made a mistake about like, oh, this is actually super canon, which let's be clear, it is canon. It is canon. Oh man.
This is a reference to a moment from season 8, episode 8.
I mean,
Solid as a Soul Rock,
I gotta
the
talk
Advance
about this
series.
episode. Well, I don't really.
In it, Ash is
I
fighting
gotta
Samurai
talk about that
for
because
the
like this is
seventh
another
kingdom, and is
episode that like
struggling
I
against their
generally
defenses.
like that a lot of the
Every
community
attack
hates.
he throws out is either
And like granted,
blocked
I
by a
literally
light
just
screen
made a
or one of the
video
other
on one of
moves that
those,
the gym
but this is
leader
another
has.
one of those that
Ash's
I
ultimate
do, and I
solution
swear
to this is to have
it's not just
Pikachu
I'm contrary on
use
every
Thunderbolt
episode
on Swellow,
the
giving
community
it a
hates.
golden thunder armor
Like there's
that
plenty of
allows
episodes
Swellow
the
to
community hates that I
easily
hate,
get
but
past the gym
this
leader's
one's not one of them, and the Amcom's
This
not one of them.
makes a lot of
But
fans
yeah,
very angry.
this
To
is
them, it is yet another
one
example
that
of
I
Pokemon
don't
anime
hate. I don't hate this
something that makes
episode.
absolutely
I don't.
no sense and wouldn't work
But, like,
in the games and is a total Deus
yeah,
Ex Machina.
pretty much
so
the first
on
half
and
is just me
so
actually
on
explaining
and so on.
why it's infamous, and then me.
Armor.
This is a good joke.
Get it? Defense of the armor.
I love that
Anyway,
one.
in
Anyway,
defense of
and then
the
this
armor,
part's just
Solo
me
was shown throughout the
spewing my
series to be
opinion for a
particularly
solid
tough when
minute.
it comes to electric attacks.
Like I
Whether
hopefully
it's Pikachu
in like
using
the
Thunder
minute I
Armor
gave
or
myself,
trying to catch
I
him
did
with a Tailo,
hopefully explain
or the
myself.
electric
Granted,
attacks it took
like,
during the Winona fight.
this is another one where I
Solo
made a
has shown
mistake where
time
I
and time
thought
again
that
electric
that
moves just
Swallow
don't phase him.
tanked an electric
In
attack during the
addition, anime has
Winona
done
fight.
move
He
combinations
didn't.
and unique
Winona's
strategies like
Pelipper
this one
did by
before and
grounding it
since,
to the
although Thunder Armor
ground,
itself
obviously.
never came back.
And then the reason why I was thinking that
Personally,
it was
I
in
like
the
these
Winona fights
anime
because the
exclusive
episode before the
techniques.
Winona
They
fight,
give
where they were
more
just like
depth and strategy
hanging
around
out in
battles
Fortress
and
City, he
make it feel
did
more like an
Swallow
actual
did,
sport of
like,
this world instead of just
tank a
another
thunder or electric
adaptation of a
move.
video game
And that's why I
battle system.
remembered
But,
it that way.
hey,
But
that's just me.
that was that was wrong. Then editor me caught that afterwards when I was trying to find footage of it and I couldn't find any. Oops. Oh man. So let me
Full
tell
disclosure,
you
I
a
haven't
story.
watched Pokemon
that-
Heroes, so
I mean, this is
this
different.
might not be as
Obviously,
accurate
I've
as
watched
it could be.
Heroes since then, and
anyway,
I'm not
this
gonna lie,
is
it's
a
kind of
reference to the end of the
it's like a
Pokemon
C
movie,
tier movie. I
Pokemon
didn't
Heroes.
like it as much
the
as a lot of
conflict
people,
ends, and
other
Ash accompanies
other people
Pikachu
do.
on
But
a
like,
mind-numbing
let me tell you
journey
about
through
the story
Johto.
about it. So
Latias,
I'm
cut
like
a human
an
and Beyonce,
officer at
goes
my
Ash for one last
at my
goodbye.
school's
In
Pokemon
the
league.
moment, Latias kisses Ash
Like
on the
I
cheek,
wanted to show this
and
video
thus,
for like a
Ultra Shooting
meeting,
was
and so I had to
born.
get it approved by the
And
president
even to
first.
this day, it
And like
is
he
one of the
told,
stronger,
basically
more
I showed to
popular
him, and then
non-Ash
he
X-Men
went
girl
through and
ships
showed
in
like,
the
okay,
community.
you gotta cut out this part,
How?
you gotta cut out this part, you gotta wait for
I'd be
wait
more
for this joke.
annoyed, but deep down I really know I'm just mad because Ash gets more action than I do.
I still like that joke, but like he basically told, okay, you gotta cut out this part, you gotta cut out
Trainer's
this part, you
choice
gotta
of
cut out
Viper
this
ever.
part. And so it was stuff that made sense, you know, the Beauty of the Beach one, you know, a lot of the ones at the bottom layer. But he told me to, he didn't tell me to get rid of the Kiss with Latias segment, but what he did tell me to was to get rid of the joke of like, oh, Ash gets more action than I do, which is still objectively true. Like, objectively speaking, it is true. It is 100% true that that's the case. But he told me not to, put that part in, and he's, basically what he said was, please cut this joke from Ash, from Kiss with Latias. You did not need to comment on how Ash outrizzed
The
you.
correct answer
which
is
was
none of
just-
them, since
I
Survivor
laughed
doesn't
so
involve.
hard when I saw that the
However,
first time.
Instead, the
That
segment
was-
claims that
That got me. That put a smile on my face when I saw that. But
which
like,
is
yeah, I
completely
censored that
wrong.
part.
Needless to say, Trainer's
Dawn.
Choice was not very
That
well
Dawn
liked.
picture.
When 4Kids lost the rights to Pokemon, it was removed. In fact, mid-episode
Yeah, really
eye patches in their
disappointing
entirety actually went away from
that
Pokemon
this
after
error
publication.
happened in that
With the
episode
rest of the
because
Advanced Generation
it
and
was-
all of Diamond and Pearl not having any
it was
America. Eventually, however, they
it
would
was
come
like
back
the
to
episode
Best
before one of the
Wishes,
best
with
episodes
the
of the whole
return of
arc.
Who's That Pokemon.
Okay, so
Whether the
I
inaccuracies of
swear
Trainer's
I
Choice
I
is to
used
blame for
this
the original
Adventures in
removal is up for
Unova
debate.
Adventures in Unova Who's That Pokemon for the only reason I used it because it just happened to be an
Pokemon
episode that was on
Karaoke
Pokemon
Man.
TV at the time. I swear, it's not because I wanted to get anyone
Remember
pissed off
Pikachu's
about.
jukebox?
And I'm like,
That
oh,
kind of
because like
show
that,
segment that
it's
replaced
from
the
the
cover-up?
it's from the
Well, Pokemon
Unova
Karaoke
League
Man
battle
was
against
basically a
Cameron. No,
replacement
I
for
didn't do
Pikachu's
that to get
jukebox.
people pissed off. I just
It began at the
it
start
was
of the
just
middle
what
of
happened to be
season
the
3,
episode that
and
was
ended
the
at
black and
end
white
of
episode that
season
happened to
3.
be on Pokemon
The
TV when
segment
I was
itself was
editing that segment.
basically Pikachu's jukebox,
like-
but with different songs.
Gosh, what
Pretty much all the songs
this is
come
this
from
this is
Pokemon.
another one of those super
We got
fillery
Pikachu on
entries
You.
because it's Pokemon Karaoke Mon. Like it's part of the episode. Who cares? The only reason it's even on the second layer is because nobody watches Johto because Johto sucks. But yeah,
The song of
Like I said,
Jigglypuff.
how much here? Yeah, I guess I could talk about some more about that, like censored version. Maybe if I ever, maybe I'll upload that to somewhere one day.
Etc.
But like,
Again,
I got
not
in a
much
couple
to
of good
say
jokes
here
on that
because it's a
one.
pretty well-known
Like
feature
what I
of the
did was I
episode.
just
But
turned
it's a
off the
little
audio
more
of me,
experience. You have to watch the Johto
put a
series
black
to see
screen
instead of
over
vastly more
the
popular
footage,
first
and
two
then just said
seasons.
like the following stuff was not
Try
approved
again.
by standards and practice, which
Like Aim for the
and then, like,
Points,
whatever
this is
snarky
another
comment I once
famous
made,
meme line from the
which
show.
I mean I was okay with
This
doing
time,
because
comes
oh
from the
wow,
TV
I
special
completely
Mewtwo
screwed up the
Returns. When the
the
game
aspect
gets
ratio.
caught
That's
in a
supposed to be a
rainstorm,
16 by
Brock
9
takes
one.
out one of his cooking pans,
But
puts it over his head, and proudly exclaims,
so yeah,
Hey,
that was
Iceberg,
fun,
what's
but
my trusty frying pan? As
that's a frying pan.
This groan-worthy
Anyway,
line has captivated the hearts
God,
and
these
souls
are
of
so
Pokemon
low
users all
res.
around.
Why did I
Remixes,
download the worst
puns,
possible resolution
and all
of
the
these?
sort of things you can think
Like
of
yeah,
using
I
this
just kind of I
community
literally
to.
just Google searched drawing pan and got all the any images that popped
The
up.
Legend of Dratini. This is yet
This
another
one,
band episode
so
from the
unlike
original series.
the
In it, Ash and company achieve
this
Safari
one's
Zone,
another band
where they
episode,
hope
and
to
unlike
catch
the
lots of
Beauty and the
Pokemon.
Beach one, I actually
Upon
don't hate
arrival,
this
they
one.
meet
Like
Taylor,
obviously I
the
understand why
warden
it's
of the Safari
banned,
Zone.
but
When getting their Safari balls from the warden, they learn about a
you know,
Dratini that was spotted in the area
at
a
least
long
this
time ago.
episode doesn't
Team Rocket
make me
overhears
actively
this and decides to
like
find the
feel
Pokemon.
bad
Once
about
allowed,
watching it.
Ash
So
catches a bunch of
like,
Tauros, like
I'd watch
a
it on
lot
a
of them.
rewatch. I mean, I probably
Wow.
wouldn't, but I wouldn't be
lot
against the
Tauros,
idea of
way
it.
too many Tauros.
Anyway, so
Team Rocket eventually finds
yeah,
the
it's
Dratini, thanks to
mostly
Kaiser
like
and
this
some
part's mostly just
coercion. However,
talking
they
about
ultimately fail
plot,
when a Dragonair appears,
then
and they get
explaining why
sent
it was banned,
blasting
which
off again.
I want to make
The reason
I
for
want to
this
make something
episode
clear.
being is because
Hit
of Kaiser's
Mouth's
and
mustache
Team
there,
Rocket's
that's not what got
development.
it banned. Like I see that comment in the
You see
comment
Kaiser
section, and
pointing
it,
the
no,
thumb
that's
guy
not
directly
true.
at Ash's
That's
head.
not a Hitler
Finger
mustache.
on the
That's very
trigger
clearly a
everything.
Gruffle detective
We also
mustache.
see Team Rocket
It's-
use the gun
it-
as a way to
If you're saying that
threaten
that's a
Kaiser.
Hitler mustache, then you might as well say that J. Jonah Jameson's mustache in Spider-Man is also Hitler mustache, which no, it's not. So that's not the reason why it got banned. It was very clearly the gun stuff that got it banned. So yeah, just to set that record straight. It's what's Meowth's mustache that got it banned.
As
That
I
was
write
not
this
that.
in the wake of insert relative
Christ,
masculinity in America here. Not
God, that was the only. God, I was so.
Even
So
if I
that-
think it sucks that such an important episode just doesn't exist here.
I originally had that. My original plan for that was that like in memoriam thing was to just do like I said, the most recent mass shooting that happened. Like, but then there was like 5 or 6 different ones that happened between when I recorded that and when I edited that.
Sure,
I'm
you're
just like,
already aware of this one.
I'm not gonna get political, but like, geez, Louise America, get it together. Anyway, so this one was a really tough one to write because like it's one of those topics that gets like people really heated in the community. So I wanted to write it in a way to like make clear that yes, this sucked, this was bad, but also very clearly the current voice cast is the voice cast. Like it's been so long.
Because the previous voice
Like,
actors were paid
I
so
know
lot
if they got
fortunes,
well, obviously they're not gonna
TBCI
replace Ash
opted
now
to
because
give
he's gone.
voice
But like,
actors
if
instead
they
of
replaced
bringing back the
Serenade
old
Cheney's
ones.
Ash now,
They replaced
I'd be
Veronica
just as upset
Taylor
as
with
Veronica Taylor
Serenade
fans would
Cheney
be
as Ash,
were when this
replaced
happened.
Eric Stewart with Bill Rogers for Brock.
Okay,
Richard
so
Lillis as
funny
Jesse
story
Misty
about
with Michelle
RP
Knox.
Rachel List, but like
The list
funny story
goes
about
on
Bill
and
Rogers
on
one. I originally
and
had
on.
it as Alan Rock. I
This
don't know
and a
why
recent voice
I
actor
thought.
controversy gave you a hint.
Oh god,
Did not go well
I don't
with
know why I
fans.
thought
They
Bill
protested,
Rogers' name was Alan
signed
Rock.
petitions,
There's,
boycotted
I
the show.
like I don't know where that I
Some
got that
people
from.
still,
So yeah,
to
that
this
happened.
day,
And
call
then-
for Serenade Cheney to be removed and for Veronica
And then
Taylor to
so
return
you
as
get
Ash.
God, I hate that you can
This
tell very distinctly
was
when I
a dumb
write it and
decision,
recorded this because I wrote this
Time heals all wounds, I
after
guess.
Bendergate happened,
Serenade
but
Cheney has been the
before
voice of Ash
like the
for
Bayonetta
longer
VA
than
controversy.
Veronica Taylor has been.
So that's
There
kind of like
are
the time frame
entire
that really
generations
ages
of fans
this.
who grew
That
up with her as the
like
voice
when
of
it
Ash.
got uploaded, it was
I'm
already kind of
Serenade
aged because
Cheney
that was
is
because like
the voice of
nobody
Ash to
cared
me.
about
She's the one
Bendergate
I grew up
by the
with as a
time it
kid.
came out in
I'm
2024
nearly
because
20.
it was
So yeah, it sucks,
like
but
the new
life
season of
goes
Futurama
on.
already came
But
out by
for
that
those who
point,
are
so like
still
nobody cared about
outraged about
Bendergate.
this, takes also
And
the fact that
also-
social media
and then when
age
it
has made a
uploaded,
voice actor
the
placement like
Bayonetta
this
controversy would
much,
always nobody
much
cared because you
harder
know
and much,
turned out
much
Bayonetta's
rarer.
VA was a piece of garbage. But like, yeah,
James's
just me
voice
putting in the
changed
Mob Psycho thing was
mid-episode.
just me trying to cover up the fact that
Here's
I was
some less
that like it's a
well-known
very
example of a voice
very
actor change. Did you know that for the
like
first
very
7
specific
episodes,
time frame to like
James wasn't voiced by Eric Stewart?
make it not
Yeah,
look like this
for
is something
episode
that
2 through
we've
7,
fixed because we
James's
haven't
voice was
fixed
completely
VA change.
different.
Literally
During
a
these
couple of days
episodes,
ago,
he was
what
voiced by a
the
guy
voice
named
of
Ted Lewis.
Peach was replaced without her knowing. So yeah, we still
Then,
got
in
issues
episode
even if
8,
it's not as
Path to the Pokemon League,
even if it's
Ted
not
Lewis's
as bad as
voice
it
was
used to be. It's
dropped
still
mid-episode,
not
and
the
James'
best.
voice changed to the voice of Eric we knew and loved.
Your turn.
So
Coughing.
My best guess as to what happened
yeah,
is that
this
Ted called
this is
in sick
unfortunate. I
during
wish
the recording,
I
and the dubbers decided,
didn't do-
hey,
I wish
we're
I
early
had-
enough into the show.
had done
No
my
one would
research
notice
more
if we
better when I
changed
was
the
writing,
voice.
so I didn't have to do
And
this
so they
little
got
editor's
Eric
correction
Stewart
in
to
the
do
end.
the lines,
Especially
loved
considering
performance
that
and chemistry with
there's
the
a
other
huge
Team
difference
Rocket
between
members,
what I say and
decided
what
to give him
what
the
actually
role
happened, and that
full-time.
was disappointing.
But don't feel too bad for Teddy, though. He
I
went on
mean,
to voice both Tracy and Giovanni.
It's a
And
fun
although he
fact,
was
but I
replaced
think the
and
best part
changed
about it is the
before
fact that
his
it's
TBCI,
literally the one
Ted
good thing
would
about this
eventually
episode
come
because
back
like
as the voice of
Path to
Giovanni.
Pokemon League's a terrible
Being
episode.
the
It's
few
so
voice
bad.
actors
It's like the
survived
second best. It's
transition.
like the second worst episode of the Indigo arc behind Beauty and the Beach. It's
Pokemon
terrible.
Chronicles.
This
Pokemon
one was an
Chronicles
interesting
a
one too
series
because I
of
didn't.
episodes
It's
that
like
take place in
Pokemon
the
Chronicles is
world
one
of
of those things
Pokemon
where like I don't
anime,
really want to
but
watch it
don't
because like
feature Ash prevalently.
I
Instead, they focus on Ash's
not because like
companions
I
and
won't.
several
I think
side
it's gonna it's
characters.
bad or
We
anything.
have Misty and her
I think that
adventures catching a
it's
Gyarados.
actually good, but like
Brock
there's
reuniting
like
with his
certain things
family,
where like
Richie
you know you're
on
like
his own
I don't want to
Pokemon
watch
journey,
this because if I
etc.,
watch this then I'm done with
etc.
everything. I've
The
completed
biggest
everything.
event of Pokemon Chronicles,
And
however, is the
I think
three-part
Pokemon
TV
Chronicles
special,
is one of those
Legend
things for
Thunder,
me.
in which we see
Like, we're like,
Jimmy, not
Okay,
Ethan,
I don't want
Maria,
this to
not
end
Chris,
like this
and Vincent
world of
stopping
Pokemon, this
Team
world of
Rocket
anime
from
Pokemon.
catching
So
Raikou.
this is gonna be my one thing where I
Eventually,
don't watch,
Pokemon Chronicles
and like
ended,
I always
but
have that
Pokemon specials without Ash
as
would
like the
continue
thing that
on in
I
Japan.
could always look forward to
Dawn and
watching,
Brock
even though I'm
became
never
one
really
with
gonna do that.
Shadow
Oh
and
god,
Pearl, Iris
those
and
are
Tyler
so
got Flame at the
crunchy.
end of Best Wishes,
Why did I
and Clara
why
and Stefani got one at
just
the end of
use
X and Y.
the files
Overall,
from
really
Bulbapedia?
interesting
Don't
stuff,
just
and
click
I
on
definitely
the
would have liked
the
to see
image
more
from
of
the
this kind of stuff
article.
continue
Go
to
actually
be
into the
released
file
here.
and download it. You stupid.
Jinx censorship.
Oh boy, this one's tough.
So,
I
Jinx.
look.
It's
I'm just. I
Pokemon.
how do I?
I guess there's
Okay,
no better
so
place to start than with the beginning.
This is probably
So,
the in
in the
terms of
late
like people
90s, an
who
academic
are
paper
angry
was
at
released
this
claiming
video.
that
This is
Jinx
probably
resembled
the
racist practice of
segment
blackface, in
that
which white people
I
painted their faces black and acted
where
in a
like
way
the
that
most people
portrays
got upset
of
at me,
color
like,
in a
oh,
negative light.
you didn't talk
And
about
the backlash of this,
the
Jinx
actual
was
origins of
recolored
Jinx,
purple in all
and
official
also
artwork for the
it's
game.
Jinx isn't racist.
This
It's
purpling,
actually the people who don't
obviously,
like her that's
also made
racist.
its
I'm
way
like,
into the anime, in which
I'm
an
not gonna
entire Christmas
say
special featuring
any
Jinx
more than
working
like
in a
because I've
factory
already
for Santa
wrote
to
my
deliver
piece
toys.
in the pinned comment in the replies.
Okay, that
That's
actually
that's
sounds
just gonna be my
bad now that
my
I'm saying
final
it out
statement
loud.
on that part
An
of it.
entire Christmas special
when it comes
featuring Jinx
to
working in a factory for Santa
when it comes to
build
like the
toys
whole Jinx
was
controversy.
changed to have the new
Anyway,
skin
that
color.
it's
However, this
that
redoing of an
bad when
old
I say it
episode
out loud
was
part.
more
That
the
was
exception,
I think that was a
not the
sweet joke
rule.
I had
Instead,
rewritten
most
to
episodes were
like
removed
fit
from
into the flow of
circulation.
this
As of
segment.
today, the
So
Order
that's very
Island
sweet. I
episodes
totally stole.
Stage
I
Fright
totally.
and
I
the
totally stole your
Mandarin
joke.
Island Mismatch,
Granted, I totally
which
stole a
featured
lot
Jinx
of
in
your
minor roles,
trivia facts for
aren't
this
available
video.
for streaming. And new
Rest in
sound
peace,
effects of the seasons
Pokemon
don't
TV.
contain the episodes,
I mean,
although older
the new
versions
YouTube channel's
are
nice,
still out
but
there. The Johto episode titled The Ice Cave was never dubbed
still,
in
it does kind of
English
suck,
due to the prominence of Jinx in the episode.
especially considering that
It's
YouTube has
a
ads.
total mess. But post-advanced series
Oh,
episodes
and
use
just-
the new colors,
Just
so
also,
we don't
just
have
as
to
a
worry about
fun
this
fact,
anymore.
Jinx is probably my least favorite Pokemon purely because of that those episodes getting cut due to her being in there, and only her being there, being the reason. This was my favorite segment to make. This was my favorite because like I didn't have to do a lot of research for it because I already knew everything I need to know, and everyone kind of like there's like plenty of resources about this episode. And specifically, I want to shout out the Who's That Pokemon podcast, who or Who's That Pokemon Productions, who made a great episode, who made a great video on the GS ball. That was very condensed and very made this part really easy for me. But like this was my easy part because like I just did the research was really easy for it, and then I could just complain. This segment of the video is literally just me complaining for 20 minutes, and it's great. It was so easy to make. It was so fun to make. I really enjoyed making the segment.
And finally,
So-
it makes its way to Kurt, and he has no idea about it. But
Yeah,
he keeps it to
fun
continue his
segment. This is
research.
this is
All
actually the
that?
reason why the
Good,
GS ball
because
is in the
that's all that
thumbnail. Is
happened.
because
That's all
I
there is
that
to
I
it.
liked making the
If you
segment
never
that
brought
much. I
again,
wanted to put
you
it
never
in
see
the
what was
thumbnail, even
in
though
it.
there's probably
Nothing.
better
Not
images to
very
use for thumbnail. I don't
satisfying,
know if I
is it?
should change the
I sure
thumbnail
think
because
it
like
isn't.
I mean it's done pretty well with the Dawn thumbnail, but I want to see if the
This
Serena one
is
would
a
do
plot
better
point that
because
has
you know
soured with
Serena's a
many
way
fans.
more popular
It's one of
character.
the biggest gripes a lot of them have
So
with the Johto
I don't know.
arc.
Maybe
The whole
maybe
GS
I'll
ball
do that over the
feels
next month. Maybe I
pointless to
won't.
them.
Anyway,
Because it is. So,
God.
how the heck did this pointless story happen? Well,
Yeah,
according
like
to
I said,
interviews with the staff,
this was really
originally the
easy.
GS ball was going to have cell
But
beams.
this was a
From
rare
there,
this
we
was a
could
rare
find a
like
major arc
me
in
using a
all the
Journey's
cell
footage,
beams.
mostly because it was
However,
relatively
after production wrapped up
it was
on
like
the third
relatively
movie,
like
it
you
was
know
decided that the fourth movie would
unimportant to all
revolve
things
around cell
considered.
beams.
So I thought it
This
was fine if
came
I
into
used the
conflict
Journey
with the plans
footage
to
here.
have Celebi in the
But
show.
like
And instead of being smart and
yeah, it was
integrating
easy
together like with Mewtwo in
to
the first
research for
movie,
this one, and then I
they
could just
decided to scrap the
focus
whole
on
arc and just
getting
hope
angry
that everyone
and
would
like
forget.
complaining about
We
this.
didn't. The hole in the Johto
Oh,
arc
that's
from the
another green
fallout
screen
of this
fail.
decision
Rip.
is massive. Johto League Champions, the second season of the Johto series,
This
has
fact
only
still
14
shocks me.
episodes
It
that are
still
relevant to the plot.
shocked me that this that only
In a
14
52
episodes
episode season.
of this entire
Everything
season
else,
of Pokemon are
mindless
actually
filler.
used for the plot.
Filler that
Which is
probably
just
wouldn't have been there if there was
crazy.
a
And the thing
nostalgia
is,
arc that
the
was
filler
put out during
episodes
the
that are in
middle of it.
between, there's only one that's genuinely fantastic. Everything else is just so dull and boring.
2 episodes.
Johto's
Yes,
probably the worst
2
season of the
episodes
anime.
after
Like,
the GS ball
I have my
was
gripes
turned.
with other series,
Wanna know
you know,
what Ashen
X Y I have
goes
issues
to?
with, the Hoenn
The
Arc I have
Island
issues with,
Forest.
but like,
And the shrine
when I
of
take a step back,
Celery.
look at things objectively,
Ah, you were right there.
God, I love
With
this joke that I
close,
did.
you almost had it.
it was so hard trying to get this to be loud enough to where you can tell I'm angry, but not loud enough to where it like
Peekaboo.
physically hurts to hear.
This
This-
is
this-
Meryl. Now I know what you're wondering.
But like the
What's the
Johto
deal
arc
about Meryl?
is
Well,
filler.
in the olden
It's like
days of
when it
the
takes it
internet,
back, the
there
Johto arc's the
wasn't
worst
a
because
Pokemon
it's
Direct that
so
aired
bad
all
and
across the
fillery.
globe.
Oh,
And the second
God,
it
yeah.
drops, there was a website that had all
I
the
recorded this in
information on the
2023.
newest Pokemon.
But like
No, back
the
in those
Peekaboo,
days,
this
things were a lot
segment
slower.
was probably the most
lot
plagiarizing,
slower.
I guess
And
it's the
finding
best word for it. Like
information about
not
Pokemon
straight up
was
plagiarism because
much
I don't,
harder.
because like if you
So
look at
when
it
the
side by
news of a
side, very
brand new
clearly,
Pokemon game started to make
I'm-
its way into the
I
Pokemania
I
swept
very
United
clearly
States,
didn't actually like
rumors began to rumble.
copy paste the script and whatnot.
Meryl was one of the
But
earliest Pokemon
A lot
to
of
be
its
officially announced.
like its
But
flow
when the
and
news
its
began to come over
talking
to
is
the
very
West,
similar to the Peekaboo
internet
episode
game
by
of
Daywitz, which
telephone slowly
yeah,
corrupted the
yeah, no
truth,
duh.
and Meryl suddenly became
I-
Peekaboo.
I
the
take a lot of
secret
influence
final
from that, but
evolution
like
of Pikachu that you, yes, you can get. All you gotta
like
do
yeah,
is
this
beat
was
Pikachu
also
forward
kind of an
100
easier
times,
segment because
and then use a water
kind of I
slide
had all the
on
information
Raichu.
already from that video
Now,
that I just
obviously,
need
these
to
were
like
just internet lies.
remember
But
that
they did
and
have
then
an impact
write a
beyond
script
simple
that
rumors from the
was
playground.
my kind of like
Tops,
original
a
thoughts on
trading
it.
card
So
company, were making
not my
special
original thoughts,
cards
but
for
like
the
my
release of the
original
second
wording
Pokemon
of it
movie, and
and
it's
like how
short,
it is.
Pikachu's Vacation.
Like that was
In
a
that short,
that was a
we
big
see
mistake,
Meryl
oopsie
in
on my
all
part.
its
It was the
glory.
first. It was the
However,
first movie,
Puff
not
didn't
the
have the
second.
name of
My
the
bad.
Pokemon on hand, and they had to find it for the description on the back of the card. And
So,
so they took
Yeah.
to the internet.
Why did I
When
use
they
this
came across the name
this
Peekaboo,
Harui
and
this
that's how the
Harui
name
GIF
Peekaboo
for the
got on
internet?
the back of
It
Pikachu's
doesn't. She's not even
license
using it.
piece
It's just
of Pokemon
hacking.
merchandise.
Whatever.
GBA video.
This one was
The
the one where I
GBA
was mostly
video
just
line
like
was a set
looking
of
at the
GBA game
Bulbapedia.
cards that had different TV
Bulbapedia
shows
and
and
tried to
movies
spew out as
compressed
much as I
onto
could
the
because
cartridge.
like I don't know how much
Some
there's to
examples of
say
shows and movies in the
about it. And
line
then I
include
add in
episodes
that
of
last part
SpongeBob,
about
other Nicktoons,
the
Shark Tales
pre-streaming
the movie,
age
and
because
freaking
I had to have
Shrek.
some interesting
Also,
comments on
go to our
it. That isn't just
discussion,
me looking at
several
okay.
Pokemon
Yep.
episodes were put
Oh
onto
god,
these
that
cartridges.
that image is
You have
so
episode
blurry.
one,
It's so blurry.
obviously,
Granted,
a few episodes from
unlike
the Amy
the
arc, and
like
even
some of the
Johto episodes. Pretty
some of
neat,
the
all things considered, and definitely a fun little
images
piece of the
from
history of portable media watching before
from like the
advent of
Bulbapedia
smartphones
articles.
and
I think
streaming.
that was probably the highest resolution image they had. So my bad.
4Kids airbrush edits.
This part has so many has like a
Throughout the
spike.
run,
in the
4Kids would
view
often
count for some
edit
reason.
out
I don't
certain
know
things
why.
in the anime,
God, that's
mostly to
so
get rid of references to
pixely and
Japanese culture
bad.
and cuisine, but occasionally for other reasons. We already talked about their censorship
Yep,
of
this
rice balls and
this definitely
sandwiches
is
and
a
tacos,
first
but that was
video.
just the
It's
tip of the
so
iceberg. We
there's
also
so many
have
amateurish things
matches
here.
changing into birthday candles. This
Yeah,
ugly
this
sign
is
from
just-
AJ's gym. This poorly edited poster of Norman. This gross grass
This is
cutout.
just
rock with this weird
me listing off
crude
stuff, which
hand
I mean it's kind of
thing.
easy. So,
and so
I
on
but like
and
I
so
remember
on
I was
and so on.
rewatching this. I was
Eventually,
rewatching the
4Kids
first couple of
lost the rights
seasons
to the show,
for
and a new studio was put
for
behind
like a
localization.
Pokemon Club thing, and
Does
like I was
this mean that
specifically
there was
keeping
less
tabs
edits?
on that because I
Yes.
knew I had
Does it
to
mean
talk
that
about
edits were
it.
gone entirely?
Uh,
No.
Because I had to talk about it for this
For
video,
modern
so
edits,
that's why I
we
kept
have things
track
like
of it.
changing the adults' drinks to not be alcohol.
This was
and
another like
changing this guy's
Junies one that I
mustache so it
had
looked less like
because
Hitler.
I was dumb and I
It's
forgot
all
about the
stupid,
Ninja
but
Shuriken
I'm
star
glad it's
thing from
becoming
Sun and
less
Moon,
prevalent.
which, God, that's such a terrible edit. Especially from not 4Kids. Oh god, Mother Nami, that was such a rabbit
Mother and
hole.
daughter in the movies.
God, it's
If
this
you
is one
can
of those
recall the
this is
beginning
one of
of
those
the story
factoids
in
I love
Mystery
bringing up
Blue,
whenever
you'll
we
remember that
whenever
it's
we
just
watch
the mother
movies
telling
for
her
Pokemon
daughter the
League.
story of Sir
Because it's
Aaron
like such it makes you
Lucario,
look
the story
smart
that
that you
opens
know
the
this
film.
random factoid
Well, this duo
when you
ended
really
up
don't. You
becoming
just
a
need to
recurring Easter
which
egg,
like just a Google
appearing in
search away
almost
and stuff.
all the
But
movies
like
that came out after
that's fine.
Lucario, and even a few episodes of the show.
I kind of don't like how
So,
I did my
who
explanation
are these
segment,
people?
considering that
Well, officially,
it's
nothing
literally-
has been said.
because
But
like
there are some possibilities
really
that
hard
have been
to
floating around.
like pay
One
attention
idea
because
is that it is the
you
wife
have
and
this
daughter of an
giant
animator or
wall of
storyboarder
text, but
that
also
is
my
put in
voice
as an
going in.
homage.
That's two
Another less
that's like two
wholesome
completely different
possibility
ideas,
is
and it
that
makes it
it's
to where you
simply
can't
reused
designs and
can't
animation that
get
are
the
more
information
easy to
in
implement.
together, and it's really
So,
frustrating.
with the who
But
out of
anyway,
the way,
Let's
I'm not
talk about
sure
the unofficial
if
fan theories.
I still
The most famous of the theories involving
I still
these
don't know
two
where I
is
got
the
the
one
idea that it
claims
was
that
Pichu's
all of the
VA's
Pokemon
kid.
anime
That was it was
doesn't
an
exist.
homage to or not.
Ash,
I don't know where
Pikachu,
I got that from because
all
like I
those
couldn't
colorful
find it
creatures,
anywhere.
Yeah.
And like
it's
I
all
could
just
find
a
that she had a
bedtime
kid,
story told by the
and like
mother.
granted,
Some
after
other
the fact
interpretations
researching,
of
I
this
did
theory also
find that
claim
she
that
did
the
have a
anime
kid around this
started
time,
out
but I
as
still
a
didn't have
bedtime story
the
by
homage
the mother,
thing.
but then eventually
But-
became a story the daughter made up in her imagination
Yeah, this
as
one's
a continuation of her mother's story.
this
which
one's
is
an
why
interesting
the
one.
two
There's
appear
some
in
things I
almost
wish I
every
did a
movie.
little different.
What? You didn't
but
self-insert
it's-
yourself in your
it's whatever,
stories
it's
as a
fine.
child? Do I believe in these theories? No, but it's
A
still
little
interesting to
dismissive,
think
but
about
whatever.
nonetheless.
I'm keep being dismissive if I do want to
Pokemon
dismiss
Heroes
things.
Blue Tint.
So when I
This
did
is
watch
the first
Heroes,
entry I
the
knew
DVD
nothing
my
about
friend
going
had
into
for it
this.
didn't have the blue
But
tint, so I'm assuming
apparently
this is
almost 90% of the DVD
assuming,
and
like,
Blu-ray re-releases of
the
the
new
film
DVDs don't
Pokemon
have the blue
Heroes
tint
have a
because
blue
his
tint on
his
them
his
compared
copy
to
of
the
it
original theatrical
didn't
release
have the
and
blue tint
VHS
on it.
release.
And granted,
I don't really know why that is.
and it was like when it was
Some
like
say that
well
it's a byproduct
newer.
of how the
It was
movie
really
mastered for DVD.
Miramax
Others
trying to
say
cash
that it
in
was an
because like
artistic choice
they
on the
had
part of the English
it was like a
localizers.
4-pack of like their 4
Either way,
Pokemon
it's
movies
an interesting thing
on
that
one
happened,
DVD,
even
and it was
more
like
weird how
really
it wasn't
bootleggy
changed,
looking.
or
Not
even given
bootleggy
as
looking.
an option to be
The
changed
menus
on
and
Blu-ray
the
re-releases.
aesthetics and all was really bootleggy on it.
Pokemon Live. Pokemon Live was a theatrical musical set in
So-
the world of the Pokemon anime.
But like it didn't have the blue tint,
story
so I'm
follows
assuming
Ash and the gang as they take
like,
down
new versions don't
Giovanni's
have the
most
blue tint.
dastardly invention,
I don't know.
Mecha Mewtwo,
They probably
a robot Pokemon that knows almost every
restored
move.
it and whatnot.
Along the way, we get tons of musical.
I
moments with
actually
songs
watched
from the
this
4Kids
in
era
full
that we've already
at, like,
discussed,
2
some
in the
weird
morning
Poke shipping stuff,
on like
and some
my
background on Delia that we'll get to later.
on like the
Anyway,
Discord server
this
for
show
the club.
ran during the early
And
2000s.
the
There
president
were
was
talks about
was
a
like
home media release
texting
and a
me
pro shot,
about
but
it
They fell through due to
when it
lack of
happened, and
financial
he's like,
incentives.
"Dude, why are you
That
doing this
being
at
said,
2 in the
The entirety
morning?"
of the show is available to watch on YouTube.
I'm really
you can do that if you want.
Crazy sometimes, but like, yeah,
Pikachu's Winter Vacation.
I don't know why I went into the like the whole
Pikachu's
pro
Winter
shop thing.
Vacation
I think it's because
is a
it was
series
on
of
the
several Christmas specials
Bulbapedia
centered around
site,
Pikachu
and so I
and
just
friends. It was
grabbed it.
released in the late 90s
also this
and
one's
early
another one where I
2000s,
kind of
with the most
cheated, and
well-known
I only
episodes being
used
released
footage
around
from
the
one of the
Johto
Pikachu's
series.
Winter's Vacation shorts
In
when I
the
was
US,
talking about multiple of
most
them.
these shorts were direct
but,
to VHS
I mean, this one
specials.
was the
In
one
them,
that I
you
could
see
just find on
Pikachu and
YouTube and
friends doing
see,
things
so
such
I
as
grabbed it and I
hanging
used
around
it.
a cabin during a cold winter's day. with
These
the snow
aren't
pouring
these
down,
like me
playing
talking,
in the
and
snow
these
outside, playing
this
winter
like
themed
stuff
games,
isn't
helping Santa's
two
scamper,
completely different episodes.
etc.,
It's all
and
pretty much the same
etc..
episode.
All around
So
pretty boring,
kind of tricking around,
but
kind of like
inoffensive, I
sneaking
guess.
around, editing wise, getting it to kind of work.
Lieutenant Surge swears in episode 14.
So
So,
fun-
in the Japanese version
so fun
of
story
Electric
about this
Shock
one. Dogesu
Showdown,
actually has.
Lieutenant Surge
I think I
has a
posted it in the
faux
source
American
comments,
accent, and it is
but
about as
Dogesu has a
English
really good
as you
write-up
think it
on
is.
swearing in Pokemon,
What?
and this.
Pikachu?
And he mentioned that this is actually the one time, like pretty much all the examples he gives is like, no, it's not
Anyway,
actually swearing.
Because
It's
of this,
some
Surge
basic.
uses a handful
It's
of
basically
English
some
words,
guy typing
and this entry
Japanese into
references
Google
how a
Translate,
swear
it
word is
coming
one of
out as a
them.
swear word
During
because
the rematch against
Japanese
Surge,
is a hard
Pikachu
language
uses
and
his
Google
agility
Translate
to
doesn't
start the
translate it
fight,
well,
catching Surge off guard.
and then assuming, oh,
Surge
that's what was said in the
reacts to this
show,
by
and
saying,
like,
"God
it's not.
damn,"
It's just not.
in
But this
English.
was actually the one time it actually was an actual swear.
This was
Granted,
obviously
it's
changed in the
you can
dub,
obviously
where Surge simply
see because
says,
I literally
"Okay."
show it in this video.
Okay,
So.
Raichu. Give it a thunderbolt.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting how you can get away with a lot of stuff like that if it's in a language your audience doesn't understand.
So, yeah, maybe I'll talk about that
Alternate
more when I.
continuity, Ash
Oh
is
God,
the
this segment. This one.
Welp, this is it. This is the one that stumped me.
Yeah, like he
I
said, this
couldn't
is the
find
one that I.
anything satisfying for
This was
entry,
the
and
one that I
genuinely
couldn't
have
get
no clue
anything
what
for.
this is.
I just
I
couldn't.
have
Like
information on almost
I
every
tried.
other
I tried.
entry,
You know, I searched
even
up.
the ones
I
at the
searched
bottom
up all the
Heck,
not
even the ones that
not
I wasn't
okay
sure
things
of,
to
I still
search up
had
involving Ash
something I
that to
felt
try to figure out
satisfied with,
this segment, but
this
I
one was
couldn't do
just
it.
too
I couldn't do
far
it.
beyond.
And like I do think that
So,
the first one
following
of like
entry
oh
will mostly,
the,
if not entirely,
Power of Us
be
Ash
pure
as a girl
speculation
fan
on
art
my
thing
part.
was probably it. But like
But
that's
first,
so lame
I'll
if it
mention what
is.
little I did find. In the hype cycle
And like the
around
thing is,
Power of Us, a
when I
handful of
tried to
fans
like
made mock-ups
do
of
it
Ash
again,
as a girl.
like see, okay, maybe I can find
Doesn't
something this
satisfy
time,
me as an
and I can
answer.
actually
A
making stuff
gender bend
for
on the internet
when I was in editing. And
shocked.
no, I couldn't
But
because
yeah, since
by
Power
that
of Us
point
is
it was
fitting into a different
2023.
continuity
Horizons was
from
on the
the original
horizon,
anime,
and all
it's
the
not that
and
much
all
of a
like
lot
the
easier to
hits
think that
on
Ash
this
could
topic topic now shifted from, is Lyco Ash in an alternate continuity? Like, you tell when I wrote this, because I don't mention, and like, you see the issue already. you can tell that
Now
that
on to
wasn't
my
the case
speculation.
because
Now,
I don't
there
talk
are
about
two
Lyco
things
in
that
this
this
at all
entity could
because
possibly
it
be
wasn't a
about to
thing
me.
then.
Ash's
Like, it wasn't a
cross-dressing
thing when I was
tendencies
writing this.
and
It wasn't a
the
thing,
mirror
and it wasn't a thing when this
First,
Iceberg
Ash's
when
cross-dressing.
this Iceberg originally
Throughout the
came
series,
out in like 2019,
Ash
2020, whatever.
a lot.
So that was not
He does
it.
in the original
That couldn't have
series
been
to
it
get
because
into the cell
Lyco wasn't a
gen.
thing yet.
He does
Like
it
you,
in the advanced
so
generation to help a guy named
basically,
Romeo
it's not pretty much
after
impossible to
Juliet.
research this.
He dresses up as a
Because
maid
of
for a
that.
maid cafe
This is
during
one of my favorite
Rhyme or
jokes,
Crow,
by the
and
way.
boys are
Well, not my favorite joke,
so
but like
in
it's a
right now.
good joke
All
I
this to
made here.
say, Ash,
Anyway, so
flirting
yeah,
with
this is
feminine
just the.
side, not that
You can
uncommon.
tell which ones I
Do I
didn't
think
know
this is
what
what
I
the
what I was
entry is
talking about
referencing?
because
No.
they're usually like
It
twice as
specifically
long
states that
because
Ash is
it's
a
just
girl
me
in
kind
an
of throwing
alternate
stuff at the wall and
continuity.
hoping
So
it
Ash
sticks
being
instead of like me
feminine
just
in the
like
main
Tiffany
series
saying yes,
wouldn't fit
this is
that.
what it is. So
Now, the next
that's
thing,
why these
let's
segments are
talk
usually
about the
longer.
mirror cave. In season
Anyway,
17,
so
episode
yeah,
36,
this
aptly
segment
titled
sucked
The Cave of Mirrors,
to work with
Ash and company travel through a cave
because
where the main
you know I
thing
didn't
is
know what
that
I was
it has
talking about
surfaces that
because
are incredibly
this
reflective
was
of
nothing I was
mirror
able to figure
But
out.
these aren't just any mirrors.
Like it does
they're
seem to
actually
be
mirrors to
that
other
power of one
dimensions.
Ash being a
And
girl
in
thing
this
is
episode,
the
Ash
band
gets
theory
stuck
thing
in
seems
an
to be it,
alternate
which
dimension.
sure.
In this dimension, he meets an alternate Ash, as well as an alternate Clement.
I think I got a
Serena.
pot shot in Serena in this
The big
one.
difference between Ash and the crew we know and tolerates versus this one is that Ash is a crybaby, Serena isn't unbearable, Clement is a speedy wizard.
Yeah, I got a
Clement is
pot shot
scientist,
on
and
all of
Bonnie
them.
is very
I mean,
polite.
I-
Now, what
oh
this
man,
demonstrates to us
would
from
I
this
inevitably have to
conversation
make a
is
video
that
on
there is
X Y? That's
evidence
gonna be
to
really
outright
tough.
prove
To like
existence
skirt
of
around
alternate
my
dimensions
opinion on the
in the
series as
lore
a
of
whole
the
and
anime.
stuff. So
So, if there's a
This is gonna be
universe where
interesting.
Ash is a pushover, why can't there be a universe where Ash is
no,
a
that
girl?
transition
Sounds like
from
me
the
pulling a bunch of strings that don't
transition.
connect together, right?
transition from like
Right.
getting rid of
That's why it's
the
speculation.
filter over this to that
Sorry.
picture was really bad. Yeah, well,
Mewtwo Strikes Back Kanzaban.
this one was one that I really enjoyed
In
because
1998,
again, it was the one that was
Mewtwo
easy
Strikes
to
Back
research
was
because
first
Dogesu
released
has
in
like an
Japanese
entire
theaters.
write-up on
Shortly
this
thereafter, it
version
aired
of the
on Japanese
movie,
television.
and it's
But
like
this version
really
on
well done
TV
and really
was
detailed
different
and
from the
really,
one folks saw in the
really,
theaters.
really good.
Certain animations were cleaned
Like,
up.
if
more
you're a
CGI was
Pokemon
added
fan, if you're an
in,
anime
and a
fan,
certain
you
intro
gotta
we'll come
watch.
back to
You
later
like
was added. This
you
version
got
of the
to check out
movie is
Dogesu
known
side.
as
It's
Mewtwo
so good.
Strikes
It's
Back
such a
Kanzaban.
wonderful resource
If
for
it
any
helps
Pokemon.
get your head around it,
It's
think of it this
fantastic.
way.
You got to do it.
Remember
It's
how Star Wars
he's
had a
so
special
good at his
edition
job.
re-released with new CGI and
Like, yeah,
special
this was-
effects that became the base for all versions
This
of
was
the
also a
movies
segment I
moving
really
forward.
enjoyed making. It's
Think of
also
the
no,
Kanzaban
because
version like that. It's Mewtwo
because like
Strikes
you know,
Back,
Mewtwo
special
Strikes Back
edition.
is
When the
probably
movie
it's
came to
definitely in
the
my
US,
top 5,
this version of the film
maybe
is the
top
one
3
dubbers
Pokemon movies.
received,
I'm not sure.
and it was this version
100%
that
top
was
5
released here
though.
in American
So
theaters.
this was fun to talk
Minus the
about.
new
There's
intro,
just
which
so
brings us
much.
to
There's just so much to talk about when it comes to the first movie. There's so much weird.
the birth
about
of
it.
Mewtwo.
This was also a segment I really liked doing because like
The birth of Mewtwo.
This
is
was
a short
not
that
that-
goes over the events of
because again,
Mewtwo's
it's not that hard to
creation.
research.
It starts with the
It's literally
discovery
just
of
an
Bruce
episode.
Eyelash
Granted,
and goes
an episode
into
that's really
the
hard
events
to
of Mewtwo's
find
early
because
life. The short
because,
started
like,
out as the
it's
intro
not
to
like
the
readily
Kanzaban
available in
version
the
of
US
Mewtwo
anymore.
Strikes Back.
Which it's
This
funny
intro
because
was
like
cut from the
there's a
release
version of
in
it
the
on
US version
YouTube,
of the movie, as
but
4
it's
kids
the
thought it was
Japanese
too dark
version
for
with the
US
Japanese
children. However, it was
like the
later
Japanese
released
audio and
as a
stuff.
bonus feature for the DVD
and like
of
it's a
Mewtwo
perfectly good
Returns
rip of
with a
it,
full English
but
dub,
it's
titled
in Japanese. And then there's
Uncut
another
Origin
version
2.
that's the
And
English
honestly,
audio, and it's
the
like
Mewtwo
you know
Returns
the
DVD
English
is
version of
really
it.
an uncut
But
origin
it's
of
also
Mewtwo
it's
DVD
like
with
the
some
most
bad
bootleggy,
special
terrible looking
attached to
thing.
it.
And so what I did
I
ended up
love the
doing
uncut
was
origin
I
of
took
Mewtwo.
that
It's one of
Japanese
my
version
favorite
and I
stories
took
ever
that
told in
English
Pokemon.
version and I took
dark
the
and
English
beautiful,
audio and put it
nuanced
on
and
top of the
interesting.
Japanese
It sheds a whole
visuals,
new
and like
light on
now I
each
just
of the
have this
characters,
on my
giving
computer
his
at all times.
existential
So
crisis
that's
more layers.
because like
And
I
the
love,
short's just
like I said, I
plain
love this
cool.
short. It's so good.
If you're a
It's so
Pokemon
good.
fan,
I
you
that's how
owe
much
it
I
to
liked it.
yourself
I
to
wanted
watch
I
this
wanted to
short.
have it on my computer at all times. Yeah, that was a good. This was a fun segment to make, and you know, I found this so interesting that I put it on the thumbnail. So that should tell you how much I enjoyed that. Gosh, we're like only halfway through. Jeez.
Rock is a stereotype. stereotype.
I'm really happy with this one,
So,
mostly
have
because
you ever
nobody
wondered
gets
why
angry at
Bach
me
really
in the
hiding behind
comments
Islands
about this
are
one.
and
So
replaced by some
it means that
twisty
I
white dude, only
try
to
to
return as
explain
season later?
myself.
Well,
Well, I tried
according
to
the
explain
show's
it
staff, that's
well
because
enough,
they
and I
thought
think
that the American
because
audience
nobody
would think
complained
that
about it,
Bach
that
was a
I think I
stereotype
did it
of
well
Asian
enough. Granted,
people.
that's
At a
mostly because
very,
I
very
was
surface
paraphrasing
level glance, it
and
kinda
paraphrasing
makes
and
sense. Bach has
rephrasing
those
stuff
thin eyes that were used in
Sweets said
propaganda
in his
against
video
Asian people all
on
throughout
this
American
controversy.
history. However,
So
as the creators soon
I had a
realized,
good base to
when you
work
go
off of.
deeper, it starts to fall apart. First of all, is that Brock isn't
So,
portrayed
yeah,
in a negative light as a stereotype would.
Like I said,
he's a
this didn't get
womanizer
a
and
lot of heat
kind
on
of
it.
dumb at times, but he's also a loyal, responsible, caring person. Positive traits that he just wouldn't have if he was meant to portray
there's
a people
Not a whole lot to talk about here, because this is kind of a this is another kind of well-known thing about like the background of the show and stuff. You know, and like a lot of people know because it's scandalous. Brock was getting rid of because they thought he was racist. That gets the clicks. Let me tell ya.
Pokemon is a show written and storyboarded by Japanese artists. Why would they write themselves in a stereotypical way? Pokemon soon realized this, as previously stated, and brought Brock back for the Johto arc. And he would stay with the show all the way up to Diamond and Pearl, and he even appears in a few episodes after that.
Yeah, no aim to be a master here, because that wasn't even out when I made this segment. It just wasn't. So I couldn't even do it because it didn't exist.
On the topic of Brock, let's talk about this unnecessary plot hole.
This was another
Recall
one.
episode 5, when Ash is walking with Flint in
Gosh,
the streets of
it's
Blue
so
City.
crazy looking at the
Flint
difference
explains
between
that
the
after
episode
Brock's
5
father
footage
died,
and
his mother
the
would end up dying,
Pokemon
leaving
Chronicles
Brock to take
footage.
care of his brothers
Because
and
like
sisters all by
this is like
himself.
I pretty much used
Tragic,
official
yada.
sources whenever
Anyway,
I could.
fast-forward to Pokemon Chronicles.
And then stuff
After
like
Brock
Pokemon
beat
Chronicles,
Ash
that's
and
when I
Misty at the
switched
end of
over
the
to like
Johto series,
Pirate Site.
he
And like
returns to Pewter City to
the
find
difference
that
is
someone
night
is
and day in
taking
terms of
Jin.
quality. Like
Who is this
holy
person?
moly, it's so
Lola,
fuzzy
Brock's
versus
mother. What's going on?
the official footage.
Well,
But
you see, Flint saying
yeah,
that Brock's mother died
this segment was
wasn't
mostly just
actually in the
me
original Japanese. In that
regurgitating
version, it simply
the
says that his
Dogasus.
mother
Like you can
also
see right
died.
here. Here's the
Flint, I
Dogasus.
guess not to give Brock two terrible parents, didn't translate this line.
Yeah, this
Instead, made
literally
up a
I
line
showed
without realizing that Lola would
the
eventually
quote
come
from the
back.
Dogasu
But
article.
Yeah, really stupid.
Like I
plot
said,
that
if
could
you're
have been
anti-Poke fan,
avoided if
go
Flint
check
just
out
did
Dogasu's
their job
backpack.
and
It's a
translated
really
it
good
correctly.
website. Really good website. This kind of stuff.
Leo Burnett and 4Kids are the devil.
Oh, this
This
one
comes from
was
season 3,
also
episode 12,
mostly
Whistle Stops.
mostly
When
just
James
me
releases his victory bell, it
quoting
bites on
the
his head,
the
as it
sweet
does most of
episode
the
and
time.
also
But instead of
the
screaming,
Bulbapedia
James
article.
actually speaks.
And like,
What he says, however, is
thank
backwards.
goodness that there's. Oh god, you can. Wow, that drop in quality is crazy. But like, that's because. Thank goodness
When
this
played in reverse,
that video
James
is
said,
still on YouTube. Like I don't know what I'd do if it wasn't, because like the official versions
Now,
don't have that
who
anymore, and
is
that's
Leo
really
Burnett?
disappointing.
And
Even
why is James so angry at
We
him
will-
that he would call him the devil?
release the Leo Burnett
Well,
cut
Leo
of
Burnett
the Whistle Stops
isn't
Pokemon.
actually a
Alright, do
person.
it.
It's an advertising
I'll-
company. And Eric Stewart,
Like, come on, this is a
voicing
part of
James,
the.
was angry because of
Like,
the
no
publicity.
kid is going to
You
like
see, as
go
part
out of their
the
way
deal
to
between
reverse the
4Kids
thing.
and
Well,
advertisers,
granted,
the
it's
voice actors
easier
wouldn't
now
get
than
paid
it was
for
in
using
probably
their
like the
clips
early
for commercials
2000s to
bumpers for
reverse.
TV breaks. Eric said
to
that he
reverse
made a
video,
lot
but
more
still,
money from the commercials
nobody-
than from voicing the actual
No
show.
kid's gonna
And
really
specifically
hardcore
pointed
go
out
out of their
the money
way
he
to
made
do
from
that unless they
commercials
know
was what paid for his
what
healthcare.
happened.
So the line was added as a protest to these changes. In the current version of the episode on streaming services,
But yeah, like I said,
James's line is
release the
replaced with
Leo
a
Burnett
generic
cut
scream.
Pokemon. You hear me? I don't even care if you don't do it on stream. Just have it on the DVDs, please. Please.
But yeah, this one's really neat. So interesting seeing a little piece of behind-the-scenes drama. Getting
Actually,
into
is
an
it on the
actual
DVDs? I'm not
episode.
100% sure.
Lenora
This one was a
censorship.
really hard. Was a really hard one
In the
to
3 episodes
to
of
do
Black
because
and White that Lenora,
I
the
was
Nacorian City
this was
gym
back when
leader,
Pokemon TV
appears
was
in.
still a
Her
thing,
clothes are
and
changed
I
between the
mostly used
English and
Pokemon TV
Japanese
footage. But the
versions.
thing is,
In
Best
Japanese,
Wishes wasn't
she
on
is seen
Pokemon TV
wearing
at the
an
time,
apron, while
and
in
I
English,
didn't
she
get the
isn't.
footage from it.
This change was made
And so
in
it was
West,
I
as it
didn't
thought
know
that the
what I was
apron
gonna
made
do
Lenora look
to record
too
this.
much like the
But
Manny
then,
stereotype.
like a
Don't
miracle
know what a
from
Manny is?
above
Well,
came
it's a
and
stereotype
gave
of older
me
black women
the
as
clip
big,
of the
unintelligent
Yamask
caregivers that
episode
has its
on the
roots
official
in
Pokemon
American
YouTube
slavery.
channel.
Think
And like,
the whole
yes,
Aunt Jemima
yes,
thing
I
10
got
years before the Aunt Jemima
I
thing
got
happened.
footage for this video.
Anyway,
Thank goodness.
Yeah, probably the smart idea to
So,
do such a small thing.
That's why
Especially in hindsight. Where
So,
I
like,
could
that's why pretty
easily
much
see this
every-
episode getting
every
pulled off
like
of streaming
segment,
services because of it.
every video of this segment is from that episode. It's because that was the only like place I could get official footage from.
Oak and Delia are a couple. Well, everybody, welcome to Ship Town. I'm surprised it took us this long to get here.
Damn straight. That's
Anyway, this entry is about
that's
the long
so true
ship
about
of
this
Professor
community.
Oak
So
and Delia
true.
Ketchum, Ash's
Uh,
mother. They spend a lot of time together. Oak gets
so,
invited to dinner
I
with
guess
Delia
not
and
fun
Ash
fact
in
about
the pool
this-
a lot.
about
Delia
this
and Ash
segment,
get
but
invited
about the
to go on
stream.
trips with Oak,
I was
and
considering
that's
doing
literally
doing
how
like
Black
a
and
segment
White
for the
starts
stream
off.
where I
And
go through
whenever we
my
need
like
Ash to have support
2D
from
chart
Town,
of the
it's
ships of
always
Pokemon.
Delia
But like, the thing is, if I'm doing it by
Do I
myself,
believe
then
the ship
it's
is
kind of
canon?
lame
No.
because
Oak is
you
Gary's
know,
grandfather. Do you know how
it's-
weird it would be for
it
Gary
would
to have
it's
to call
weird
Ash
if I
his
did it.
uncle? Plus, there's the whole age difference. Oak
It'd be
is
weird
in
if I
his
did it
late
with
50s,
nobody else,
early
and it's just me
60s,
yapping
while
for 40
Julia
minutes
is
or whatever.
29
So
at
I
the
didn't
start
end
of
up
the
doing
series,
that
and
because
still
pretty much
probably
everyone I
isn't
knew
older
is
than her
everyone I know
30s.
is at NAIC
So
right
yeah,
now.
that's
So
a
nobody,
no from me.
it's like nobody could sit here and hear me yap for forever how long. That's why I didn't add that to this live stream schedule.
Team Rocket versus
Yeah.
Team Plasma.
I will
This
say
might
on
be a subject to
Delia,
talk about.
I find it so hilarious
The original
that
plan
like
for Best
the
Wishes,
Jesse
the black and white
Delia
anime, was for
ship
Team
got
Rocket
big
to be a
because
serious threat.
it somehow
There
managed to
was this
piss off
huge
both the
plan
Elder
for
Shippers
Team
and the
Rocket
Rocket
to try
Shippers,
to
and
take
that's so
over the
funny
lunar
to me.
region,
So
and to
so
ultimately
funny.
come to clash with the homegrown hero villains of the region.
Not that I support
Team
it. It's,
Plasma.
no, I mean it's really
This
dumb
arc was
shit, but
building
whatever.
up throughout the first
Like,
episodes
still,
of Black and White,
the-
but it was
them pi-
culminating in
those
an
two big
epic
ones getting pissed
showdown
off
in
is-
Castelia
makes it
City,
worth it.
where Team Rocket and Plasma would face off directly for the
Yeah,
first
a lot of
time.
these. Sorry
The
about
Venipede infestation
a lot
in
of
episode
the
before was leading
the
up to
sort
it.
of stuff that
Everything on
shouldn't
the
be
stage was
fuzzy
set up
being
for a
fuzzy
giant two-part
with
special.
black and white
Then,
stuff. Because again,
Tragedy
they
struck.
never had
On March
had
11th,
black and white
2011,
episodes on
less
Pokemon
than a
TV when I
week
was
before the episode was set
when
to
I was
broadcast,
doing
a
like
massive
editing
earthquake
this
and tsunami
video and
ripped
like
into the
recording
Japanese
footage and
coast,
stuff. So I never was
completely
able to.
obliterating
I never
nearby cities.
got around. I wasn't able to
The
record stuff
Fukushima
for it.
nuclear power plant sustained massive damage, causing a meltdown that released
This
tons of radioactive
this would be
material
so
into
much
the
more
area, becoming the worst nuclear
so
disaster
much more downer
since
if my
Chernobyl.
audio wasn't this
Almost
terrible
20,000
when I was
people
talking about
were
it. I
killed.
just
The episode was
it's
delayed
such
due to its similarities to the disaster.
like
The television
total.
network insisted that it would be aired, as it was an
It's just
incredibly
a
important
massive
episode
tone
for the
shift.
plotted series.
Like
But
okay,
as
I
the
get
days
it.
went on,
Editor
it was
me.
abundantly
You're
clear
using
that
the
this
Tokyo
earthquake would be
TV
one of the
cancel
worst that
footage
Japan
stuff.
had experienced in almost
And like
100
you can't even see
years.
you can't even see the watermark
The
because
episode was
Ash's
The show went on without the special.
like Ash's
Ash
body
went on
is
his journey
covering
and
it
wouldn't
over in
hear
that
from
corner
Team
there.
Plasma until after the Unova League, where the events of this special were officially made
But, like,
non-canon.
Yeah, sucks that happened because it kind of
For the
hardcore derailed.
girls. I'm
Hardcore
not
derailed.
quite sure about
Black
this
White. So,
one, but my best
people
guess is
saying
that
this
is
say
a
that this
reference to
is
the fact
like
that
a
Pikachu
reference to For
wasn't
the Girls,
originally
as in
going to
like
be
the
Ash's
song
partner
Brock,
Pokemon.
the one song Brock
Originally,
knows.
that role was
And they're
going to
probably right,
Clefairy.
honestly.
We
And I've
even
seen
see
that
something like
because
this happened in one of the early mangas. But
it's got the
then it was
quotation
decided for
marks
Ash's partner
on it.
Pokemon to change from Clefairy to Pikachu. Why? Because the
But, like,
higher-ups thought Pikachu would be more
The thing
appealing
is, I was
for
already
you
going to
with
talk
his
about
cute
For the Girls
mouse-like
in the
appearance and bright yellow
Takeshi's
colors.
Paradise
Seeing as
segment, so I
Pikachu
didn't
is
want
now
to
a global
double do that.
icon, I'd
So I
say it
instead
worked
talked
out
about
in the
this
end.
this false rumor,
The
like
Ash coma theory. Ash
like the thing.
Ketchum
So
does
this.
not age. That's
I'm sorry I
simply
didn't
how it
talk.
is.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Why?
talk over the coma thing,
Because
but
he's a
this,
cartoon
but the
character, that's
Clefairy
why.
thing, like
Bart
Clefairy
Simpson
allegedly
never
being
ages.
the
We never question it.
being the original
SpongeBob never
mascot
ages.
is
We never
seems to
question
be
it.
false
Stewie Griffin never
because
ages.
Dogsy
We
made a
never
write up on
question
it and showed
Why
that hey, there's
can't
no
we
evidence that
just
Clefairy
give
was going
Ash
to be
that treatment as well?
Ash's Pokemon
To some
at
fans,
a
that is
very
too
late
much
at
to
any
give.
late point.
And
Perhaps
so they've
it
come
was
up
very
with
like it was
theories
considered
as to
early on,
why
but
he
it
never
wasn't like a last
ages.
minute change or
One
anything.
of the most popular of these theories is the Ash coma theory.
And so,
This
sorry about
claims
respreading that
the bolt
information,
of
but
lightning that struck at the end of the
I
first
probably should
episode
have.
actually put Ash in a coma.
I probably
And
should
the rest of
have
the series is him dreaming about the adventures
realized
he
something
goes
was up
on.
when I couldn't find anything that was that when I
don't
couldn't
buy this
find any
theory at all.
source on
I
it. But
much prefer the Ash multiverse theory. to
Yeah,
explain why he
that's one of the
doesn't
things I
age.
definitely would change if
Even
I
then,
could
At this point, I've
if
come
I
to terms with the
could,
fact that a decade has passed since I first
like
watched the
redo
show,
this. Is definitely
and
change
Ash
that
is still
segment to
10
be like,
years
hey,
old.
this is about a
It sucks,
false rumor
but such is
about
life.
Clefairy being Pikachu's being in Pikachu's spot originally. However, this has since been debunked. Which granted, I didn't know that at the time because like I was like every other Pokemon fan. I just assumed that Clefairy fact was correct, but it's not. It's not correct. This one gets a lot of
Pikachu's
talking
goodbye
for some reason.
exists because of the
Like,
Porygon incident.
I guess I get it because there's a lot
of
because like
speculation when it
I
comes
said,
to
there's
this
a lot of
topic.
speculation, a
So
lot
let's
of
just start off with the facts.
things we don't
Pikachu's
know
Goodbye
about
was the
what's
first
going on
episode
here.
that aired after the fallout
But
of
like
the
I mostly
Porygon
just
incident.
toed the line of like what
Based on
Sweet
the
said, like,
original
oh, it's
TV
either
scheduling before the incident,
like,
that
oh, it's
was
either
intended to
hey,
be the case.
we're
So what
making a
happened
strong
between then
episode
and the airing?
to like show we're not just flashy and
currently,
action, and
there are two
also
theories
we're
about
making
what
an episode
happened.
that doesn't require a
The
lot of
first is that
animation
they
time,
chose this
and it's
episode
mostly
because
writing
of its
based.
stronger narrative focus
Like
and
there's plenty of
intimate
other theories. Like
character-driven story.
when I saw in the comments, like,
They
oh,
wanted
this is
to show that
this is a
Pokemon
much
wasn't just some flashy action
larger
shows
metaphor
all
for
about the
Pokemon
bright
in and of
lights and
itself
colors.
about like, oh,
It was a
we have to say
genuine
goodbye to
show
this
with
thing
emotions and
because
ideas that would
we
resonate
don't know
with
whether we're gonna come
audiences.
back or not. But
The second
I don't know. It
theory is a
doesn't
lot
feel
less
like
dramatic
like
than storybook,
the
but
story doesn't feel like that to me.
also
So
a
I don't
lot more
know. I don't think
likely.
that's true or right.
Basically,
But
Pikachu's
like I said,
goodbye
there's
was an
plenty of
episode that
speculation,
was
so
much easier to
it could be
storyboard
that could be the
and animate.
case. I don't
Not counting flashbacks,
I don't think
the
so,
only
but
Pokemon species
I can
that
see how some
appears
of the
in this
people
episode is
believe in that.
Pikachu and Meowth, the fewest number of Pokemon species to appear
God,
in an episode.
my mic is so
to
bad
this
for
day.
this.
Having less Pokemon species means less animation work. In addition, there's a lot of flashbacks in this one, especially towards the end, as well as scenes where not a lot is going on visually. Is it still great TV?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I
Was it
buy
harder to make
into
from an
the
animation
oh they
perspective?
did it
No,
they did this
or
episode because
at
it
least
was
not nearly
one
as
that they
much
could
as the
make them
average.
cheap while still being a
So,
good
seeing as
episode.
the
Because like
scheduling was a lot
Pikachu's
tighter
Goodbye
between
is a good
when the
episode,
show
even
was
if it's not
re-greenlit for
the most
broadcast and the first episode
it's not the
aired,
most
they decided
visually
to move this one up
nice
in order to have
episode,
the show out on time.
you know.
Pokemon 3D
This
and
one
4D.
This one I was kind of lazy on
This
because
entry references two short films.
granted
Pokemon 3D
they're
Adventure
basically
by
lost
Mew
films really.
and Pokemon 4D,
Well, not
Pikachu's
really,
Grand
like,
Ocean 4 Adventure.
There's barely any
Both of
information
these
on
shorts were
Bulbapedia on
made
them,
in
and
the
that's
2000s.
usually not a good
I couldn't
sign
get a
on like
straight
finding
answer as to whether they were
information on
made
it.
in
But
3D, or
luckily
if they
I
were
did
adapted
find
into
this
3D later
video,
on.
and that was a really
But
good
either
find.
way, they were both
But
re-released
there's so
in
many
3D
things that
in Japanese
looked weird,
theaters
like
in 2017.
saying that it was from like 2014,
Despite its
2017ish time,
title,
even though it
Pokemon 4D
very
isn't
clearly looks
4D
like
as
it's
far
from
as
the
I'm
Gen
aware,
3, Gen 4
although
era.
it was part of a theater
But-
ride here in the United States at one point. So perhaps there was
But,
some
like,
4D stuff going on
Yeah,
there.
just not a lot.
As you can guess by that
There's
last
still not a
video,
lot known
the
about this
4D
one, and
was dubbed in
I'm not
English, while
exactly
the
a
3D
lost
one,
media
Never Leaving
uh,
Japan, wasn't.
minor,
There
so
really isn't much to say about these ones.
I
The
don't
3D
know.
shorts plot synopsis on Bulbapedia is
I
like
don't
a
really know
sentence
how to
long,
get any
and
more
the 40
information
one
on
just straight
this.
doesn't have one. So let's move on. Misty
This
and
one
Jesse's Mallet.
was another one I had no idea about.
Throughout
This is
some of
just
the
me.
early episodes,
This one's
Misty would
literally
be
just me
seen using a
BSing
mallet,
about
often to hit either Ash
about
or Brock and make
Jesse
something
Misty's mallet
stupid.
for like
As
however
time
many
went on
minutes, and then
the
like
show moved
making a
forward,
BS
Misty's mallet was used
a
less
through
and
line
less.
about
Why?
violence and
Well,
cartoons
it
and
was either
stuff.
one of two things.
When
One,
no, there isn't
either
really a
that or
pattern.
using a mallet for
Like
violence was
literally,
messing with the show's
when I was
ratings and had to be
watching,
dropped.
when I was like
Or
watching
two,
through
the mallet gag
the original
wasn't all that
series
funny
for
in the
Pokemon
first
League,
place. The writers couldn't
I
come
like
up with any
kept
creative
note
new
of
ideas
whenever
for it, so it was
Misty
eventually
and
dropped.
Jesse used a mallet, just like
Similarly, Jesse also had a
just like
mallet
be
in
like,
the
hey,
episode
okay,
gags.
when you
And
need to
one that
record
lasted a
this
bit
later,
longer.
make sure to
Due
grab
to
the
her
footage
status as a
before
villain, it was a bit more palatable
from
to
these
have her use
episodes, and
blunt
so like that's
violence.
why
And used it she did.
I have so many
Her
footages
mallet
because I
came
just
in metal and
grabbed
3D
whatever
The gag
whatever
also
I
was relevant
could,
to the eventual
whatever
show.
I could grab,
Eventually,
I
however,
grabbed.
Jesse became more and more reliant on a giant
Like,
fan
yeah, I'm
snack
totally
chain
BSing you in this segment. I have
and
no
either
idea what
because
this is
it was
about.
easier to animate or
Like,
because the writers
this
thought it was
band's from the
funnier,
Squirtle
the fan
episode,
went
and
out,
this one's
and it
from
was Jesse's
the
go-to voice
from
for
the
dealing with
Hitmonchan
damage.
Hitmon the episode. So like, no, I'm BSing you on this
Pokemon
one. This one
Learning
was all.
League.
Oh, this one was a really great segment because like this
Pokemon Learning
this
League
one's
was a
just so
website
weird and
for
interesting. It's
children
like
for school kids.
Pokemon Brain Pop.
It
That's
had
so
lessons on stuff like
odd,
science,
and like Diamond and
math,
Pearl themed
language,
Pokemon
social
Brain Pop.
interaction,
That's so weird.
so
It's so
on
cool.
and
That's
so
so.
forth. This one gets
That's so
funnier
my
because it
childhood, you
uses
know?
several characters from
Like
the
it's
anime.
this one
and
was a
even
really
some
fun
clips
one
during its lessons.
to research. And
There
like
are
the thing
very
is,
few fragments
when I
of the
wrote it-
content of this website left
when I wrote it, there was
unburned.
barely anything
It
on
went
it.
to where the
Then when I
lost
edited
media
it, there was
archives
so
felt the need to
much,
add it as
so
an
much
entry
on
its
it. Oh
website.
god, that chug.
Although there have been some new findings more recently. All around, it's a
It was
really
so-
interesting piece of lost media. And side note here, I just
This
wanted
is-
to point
this
out
was,
something that caught my eye.
Oh wow, we've been
So
talking for an hour.
Dawn, right? She's in this game because it's the late 2000s
Like,
and Diamond and Pearl
yeah,
was
this
the
is-
current
this was-
series at the time.
This is a really
But
interesting
here's the
topic to
thing.
me.
I guess the creators of this program thought that Dawn's design was
This is
too
like such.
scantily
This one's
clad,
one of my favorite
and
fun
so they
facts
gave
because
her
it's just
Mr.
so
and Smash
weird
Bros.
and
style
off-putting.
redesign with
and,
an
like,
undershirt and leggings.
How to put this?
And
If
I just
if
find
Dawn
that
wasn't
both
already on like the
fascinating and
corner
amusing.
of my of the
Okay,
thumbnail,
side note over.
and it was, and I ended up picking Serena for that part.
Brock and Misty's last names.
Oh, this is the good joke.
Much like the mystery of Obama's last name, the last name of Brock and Misty is a mystery that also exists. So,
Like if
what are their last names?
if I didn't have Dawn in the thumbnail
Well,
already, I would have
Brock's last
put
name is
that
Harrison.
censored Dawn
Kind of.
image as the
You
one
see, that doesn't
for
come from the writers of the show.
like this
Brock
the
doesn't have a last name in Japan.
the left corner with
Instead,
like all
the
the
last name
information
Harrison
and with
comes
like
from
all
a
the different
2007
entries
interview with
thing.
Eric Stewart, the voice of Brock, and
So
one
that,
of the voice
I
directors of
I
the
find
show.
it that interesting.
So yeah, Brock's last
Anyway,
name
so-
is Harrison, at least in English. As for Misty, well, Misty doesn't have a last name. She just
Also
does There were
The Rock one I
rumors
made a
through the
small
internet
error.
that her last name was
I think I got the
Waterfowler,
year wrong.
Williams.
It was like,
Waterfowler in
instead of
particular
being
being
2006, it was
popular among
2007, or if it was in
but as far as I
2008.
can tell,
If I said
both seem
2007,
to
it
be
was
not true.
2006.
And the mystery of what
So,
Misty's
sorry
last name
about
is
that.
is
It
still
wasn't that
unsolved.
huge of an error,
Personally,
because,
my
and I
head
corrected
canon
it,
is that her last name is her Japanese
or
name,
in the source
Kasumi.
thing, so it's
I know
fine,
that
but
probably makes zero sense to
whatever.
a Japanese audience, but
sorry about that.
it's better than nothing.
Anyway, Waterfowler's and Williams. And yes, I still think Misty Kasumi, even though it makes
Pokemon to
no
English.
sense.
Pokemon to English.
This one was
a
also
TV
an interesting
programming
one.
segment meant to teach
I
Japanese
mean, I
children
learned
some
about it. The
basic
problem is
English.
I couldn't find a
This
whole
was
lot
done
of,
using segments of
like, you can
episodes from
tell
the
by
English
how
dub to
crunchy
teach
that
very
video
specific
is,
phrases and words.
but I couldn't
The
find,
English words and phrases taught
I couldn't
included
find a lot of
names,
footage of
colors,
it,
numbers, food,
you know,
and a
so
whole
that's
bunch more.
why it looks
Honestly,
so bad. But
this
like,
is actually kind of cool.
this is also one
and
that's
I
really
would have
interesting.
liked
It's
to
like
see something
Pokemon
like this
Learning
here
League,
in
but
the West, but
like
in reverse,
20,
using
not 20 years,
Japanese
10
scripts to
years
teach
before
Americans
it, which
Japanese.
that's neat.
Misty slaps Ash.
This one was another
This
one
one
where I
is a
think
reference to a change
Showpro
Pokemon
got
made
to
in the
some of
very
the
first
videos
episode,
for it, which
as
is
well as a few
unfortunate,
from
but
later on.
whatever.
Misty, after reeling an
Like
Ash
this
from the
one's
river, and
also,
upon seeing
I don't
how
know why
badly
this one's
Pikachu
so
was hurt,
down low, because
slaps
it's
Ash for
like
being so negligent
pretty
with his
well-known
Pokemon's
thing, like
condition. In
like
English,
any,
he slaps his move, and Misty
trivia
just
video
yells at
on
him
the
very
first episode
loudly.
will tell you about this. This one's, I don't know
you
why
look
I like this
great.
thing,
You're
but I
the
do.
worst. You have no idea what you're doing.
The
I think it's
reason
because I
is,
like that
as far as
moments
I
in
can
the
tell, is
episode,
because
and like just
poor
having
kids
it play
didn't
out
want the
there was
protagonists like
fun.
Misty to use that kind
but-
of physical violence in the show. The kind that you can reasonably see a child trying to imitate. Misty can use a giant hammer all she wants, because a kid wouldn't have
This is
access
just
to one
me
of those to repeat the stunts.
This is just
But
me
slapping is
coping
something
and
that kids
trying
will
to
totally
justify
do.
poor kids
So
being
it's cut.
stupid. But
I
whatever.
personally don't really mind it, but hey, what do I know?
Oh Christ! This segment gives me the most pain because you know it sucks, and I hate talking about this, and it's just it's so frustrating and
Let's
annoying,
get
and I
this
don't
over
want to think
with.
about it more than I
This is
have to, you
Matsutsu
know.
Hidaka.
And like,
He was the director of the Pokemon anime until the Battle
I mean,
Frontier,
it
and a
sucks,
storyboard artist
but it's
until Best
true,
Wishes.
and I
He
hate it.
also directed
Just
and
it's
storyboarded
frustrating.
several of the movies.
So,
All around, he was a pretty important
yeah,
person to the
this
show.
is a thing.
In 2008,
I guess
Hidaka
funny
had an
story.
interview with the fan site
So
Pokemon.
YouTube has these clip
In it,
things that
he
nobody
discussed
uses,
several
but
things.
apparently some people
This
do
is
use
the
it.
interview where we learn
And
about
one
why
of the
Brock left during the Orange
one of the
Island
clips
and
for one of my
why
for my
the GS
channel
ball
that I
was
have
gone.
is of this
But the
segment.
most infamous piece of
And
behind-the-scenes
the thing,
information
and like
that
the
was
title
brought
for
to
that
light in
clip
this
is
review
"God, I
was
Want to
about
Give
the
Him a
change of
Wedgie."
companion.
And I don't know if he's referring to
According to
me
Hidaka,
or
the
Hidaka,
reason that they
but
switched
either way,
from
that's
Misty to
funny.
May and May to Dawn
So,
and so on and so forth was
yeah, this-
because, quote, boys need new pieces of
It's
eye
just so
candy to look at every
disappointing
once in a while.
and just
They want
bad
new
to think
girls
about.
and new
It's-
clothing,
it's
especially swimsuits.
just really disappointing.
God, I threw up a little in my mouth.
Yep, that's me. So much coping and seething.
So gross. This was a shocking reveal.
Shock
Even
Pikachu.
the interviewer was baffled. It's just so gross.
God,
and
I
messed
love
up
this
to think
scene
that
so
the
much.
characters
But
we
I
knew
liked-
and
I liked
enjoyed were solely
Ash and Dawn's
there
high
for
touch.
male gazing.
Anyway,
Not to
but
mention the whole their 10 thing.
man,
Yeah,
I wanted an
it's
excuse to
gross.
have that scene in there, and I
So, the following
got it.
segment is
So
me hopping up on Copium to find
So,
some
like,
way to make this
I
less
need
awful
I
for
need
my
look I
family.
needed something to give me happiness
My
while making
headcanon
this
is that when
terrible
Hidaka
segment.
says that
So
line, he
yeah.
means it less as a damn, we gotta make these 10-year-olds hot, and more of a let's do baby's first waifu war.
God, that image is so
You
crunchy.
see, when you have such a colorful cast of characters, fans will begin to debate on who's the best.
This is unironically my actual opinion on all the companions. By the way, this is like my actual tier list. Granted, it's a little outdated, like a couple of years old at this point, but like it's still mostly true. So, but like it's still mostly true. Like yeah, Dawn's still top, Iris is still second. I go back and forth on whether I like Misty or May more. I think right now I say May, but I don't know. Talk to me in like a year and I might say Misty. Yeah, Serena's and Supply's at the bottom. I go back and forth whether Milo's D or C. Here I have her at C. I don't know if I agree with that. And then I mean B tier is like total crapshoot. Like it's like every other month it switches. Like right now I'd probably put Brock above Silent. But who knows? Maybe in 2 months Silent will be back on top. Maybe in 6 months. So you know what? Clement's actually cool, or and like maybe in the 2 years, like people underrate Go or whatnot. But like, yeah, this stretch is a total like anyone can be, and like this is very fluid. And then these two, I go back and forth whether I should keep them in A tier or put them down to B tier. Right now, I have them in here in A tier. I think I'd keep Lily in there and then maybe drop Lana down right now. But like again, this is pretty fluid, all things considered. Outside of like Dawn being number one, Serena being last place, Iris in second, Sophocles in second to last. Like those are pretty solid, and then everything else is kind of, and then also the kids in D. But like everything else is kind of up in the air and whatnot.
And will buy the merch to show their undying support. Pokemon, who makes the merchandise for all.
God, I want any of this merch so badly. Oh, look at the little Lego! Look at the little Lego Dawn. It's so cool. Dude, I gotta get employed just so I can finally get this stupid figurine that I really want. This looks so cool. It like I have a full art Piplup with the Dawn on it staring at me right now at my I have my desk here, and then I have a shelf here, and on it is the full art Piplup with the Dawn staring at me, and I want this statue next to it because it looks so cool. Man, one day. Oh, look right there. There's the card. There's the card I have. There it is, right there in the center. I have that card. It's right there. It cost me like, well, technically it was $30, but I sold two other cards I had, and so I bought it for $11. Now it's just like $40, $50, but I have this card. Oh, that sticker's so cute. I gotta stop staring at it before.
The companions profit off it either way. Yeah, it's a roundabout way of thinking about this quote, but it lets me sleep well at night.
Alright, so not a lot of very interesting things to talk about here.
Farproach versus Wizcash. Looks like we got ourselves another band episode.
This one is a little more speculative. Because like there's the facts of this was an episode that existed that got banned because of an earthquake. That's all true and stuff. But other stuff like, this was when Ash was supposed to learn where he learned to go to Satopolis City. And after this point, moves like Earthquake and Magnitude and whatnot were soft banned by the writers. That's pure speculation. That's pure speculation on my part and the fandom's part. So that's kind of a thing. But like the actual like, hey, this was an episode that was banned, that's all true and stuff. So
this episode is also important because from this point on, moves such as Earthquake, Fissure, and Magnitude.
Yeah, this isn't an official thing. It's just something that fans noticed. Like, hey, after this banned episode, those moves haven't shown up. That's a weird coincidence, you know?
Pokemon Radio Show.
I went very surface level on this one because I didn't know a whole lot about it, and I was mostly just reading off of the Wikipedia article. But if you want to learn more about this, again, Dogesu's got a great segment on this. There's like the whole write-up about it. There's so much information on it, and it's another one you should really check it out. It's so like, dude, Dogesu's Backpack is such a great site. You know,
he approved. That's neat.
So. Yeah, if you want to learn more about that, you can do that.
PokeRap GS was meant to be paired with Johto League Champion.
I remember I was trying... I rented out Pokemon 3.
Pokemon from the Johto region.
Pokemon 3 from a library once, and I was trying to see this in the actual DVD itself. And like, boy howdy, was this song, however, I cannot believe I forgot how to use a DVD remote because it's been so long since I used DVD player, and that's so disappointing because...
You see at the end credits.
Like, yes, this is true. This is it. This definitely is in.
The end of season 4
I saw this with my own eyes on the DVD, so yes, this is true.
Confirms that at one point the GS Pograph was
like, yeah, this is just a fun little fact. That's like mostly down here at the bottom later because it's really obscure, all things considered.
Plans changed before then.
Because like you have to watch the Johto arc, and then also watch the third movie, but then also get the DVD for the third movie, and then actually pick. This one is a reference
to several Pikachu shorts that were used as in-flight
the bonus
entertainment
feature
for All Nippon Airways planes.
Yeah, this one was. one
were
that like
actually
I
quite
knew
a few
very
of
early
them,
on, but I didn't know
spanning from the
a
late
lot
Advanced
about,
generation
and like
all through DP,
that's why it's kind of
even into early
shallow.
Black and
Because
White.
like there's
We got
not a lot I
Pikachu
could
and
say
company at a
on
summer
them
festival,
as a
Pikachu and friends going
as
to an
a
unknown
collective because they're all
dimension,
very
and just
different
generally
shorts.
Pikachu and Pokemon doing
So
cute
there's not a
things.
lot I could say about them collectively outside of yep, they were all used on
Team Rocket radio drama CDs.
airplane entertainment.
In the lead up to the release of
This
Mewtwo
was another
Strikes
interesting
Back
one.
in
Granted,
Japan,
it's because
Japanese radio
Mewtwo
got a
Strikes
radio
Back has
drama
so much
titled
interesting
The Birth
trivia
of
about it.
Mewtwo.
So
This
there's
radio
like a
drama
solid
followed the
layer
story
of stuff
how
just
the
on
eyelash
YouTube.
was discovered and the early stages of Mewtwo's experimentation.
Oh, just on this
If
movie
that
and
sounds
the
familiar, it
expanded
should,
universe
because
of this
this radio
movie.
drama was later
Like, this is another
adapted
interesting
into
one.
the uncut origin
This is
of
another one of
Mewtwo
those interesting
short that
ones.
would air
I
before
gotta-
the release
I
in
gotta
Japan, and
listen
that
to
we
this at
would
one
get
point,
in
'cause,
the
like,
Mewtwo Returns DVD.
The full Japanese
However,
audio of
there
it
is
is
stuff within
available on
this radio
YouTube,
drama
but like I
that
said,
didn't
it's
make
in
its way into
Japanese.
the anime
So,
adaptation.
we have to like sit there and
The
read
biggest
it, and it's not that
example is how this radio
interesting to
drama
look at
gives
because
us
it's a
tons
radio
of
drama,
background
of course.
information on Jesse's mother,
So like, man, someone should
Miyamoto.
really do like a
She was a member
good
of
solid
Team
English
Rocket
dub of
and
this,
part of the team that
because
was sent to find Mew,
that'd be really
but
awesome.
got lost soon after finding the
I'm not the
Pokemon
one to do
and
it
was
though,
presumed
because
dead by
does
the
it look like I
organization.
have any voice
Madame
direction
Boss,
skills?
the former
Like,
leader of Team Rocket,
I have
and
some amount
Giovanni's
of
mother, made a
voice
request to
acting
Giovanni to
under my
protect
belt, but
Miyamoto's child as her dying wish.
not enough to do
since she
this
was her
kind of
favorite
project.
member.
Plus,
All
I don't
around
know a lot
really
of other
interesting. It
people
just goes
that
show
could
how
help me with it.
in-depth and full
So
of lore the expanded
yeah,
universe
somebody
of the
else
first
get on
movie
that.
is.
This is a gold mine you gotta
Animals in
do.
the Pokemon world.
So this one's interesting because I got a couple of
I don't
comments
know
saying,
why this
"Oh,
one is so
that
far down.
ad
I
upon saying
thought
like,
it was
oh,
pretty
hey,
well
this was a
noticed,
mistake
but
actually,
yes,
and that Shudo
throughout
didn't
the
want this to
Pokemon
happen."
anime, and
but it just
especially
kind of
during the early years
an
when a lot
accident
of
that this happened. It
conventions
wasn't an
and
intentional
world-building
thing, which
wasn't as set in
I don't think it
There are
was
several instances where real,
like
non-Pokemon
I don't think it was a
animals
thing
are
that they
shown
did
or suggested to
because they
exist.
wanted like
There's the
a
classic
canon thing.
obvious
It was
examples,
because
such as
they
the
were.
fish in the shipwreck Saint
It was.
Anne
It's
episode,
easier to make a
as well
generic
as the
fish
in
than it is to
Hesperus
make a very
aquarium in
specific
Tentacool
Pokemon.
and
You know.
Tentacool. There's
So
also some less obvious, but still pretty blatant examples,
like
Ash wearing a cow costume in Challenge of the
no, I
Samurai.
don't think it's.
And for a
I don't think it
non-first
was
season example,
canon even
there's X and
when
Y's
like in
going
the
for
olden days
gold,
when
in
they
which several
did it a
undersea
lot.
creatures are seen.
But
All around, it's pretty obvious that when
but
they
yeah,
first
they
started,
did this
they
a lot
weren't
because
so sure
they
if
didn't have a
Pokemon
lot
were
of
the only creatures
Pokemon
around,
to work with.
and even
Like,
as time went on, it was
like pretty much
probably a
any
lot
fish you can
easier
just
to draw
replace
some
with the
generic
Luminion and
animals
like,
instead of having
and
to
you're
draw
like,
very
yep, that's a
specific
fish
Pokemon
because
for
Luminion's
background
just a
scenes.
fish.
But yeah, there are real animals in the Pokemon anime world.
So I said it was a mistake on Shooter's part. I didn't
Pre-Porygon
mean to do that.
versions of episode
This
1
was-
through 37. After the
This
controversy
was
surrounding the Porygon
disappointing
episodes,
in the sense that
several changes
I
were
kind of
made to
couldn't
how the anime
find
was
the
animated.
videos that this was from
Flashing
because
strobe
apparently
lights weren't used
they got
as
show
much,
pro
rapid
nuked,
color changes
which is
were gone,
unfortunate.
so on and so
But
forth. But
also
these changes weren't just made for
it's annoying
episodes moving
because
ahead. They were also applied to
in the
episodes
comments
that
of
were
those
already
videos,
made.
there are like people like, oh, that's
Episodes
why I
1
looked better
through
when I was a
37
kid
were re-edited
because
to
they
reduce the harmful
censored
light
it,
effects
and
that
that
were
now it's
used in them.
bad because now they censored it
Unlike
after
modern
that. Like,
anime, however, the
no,
change
you're an
wasn't just a
American.
simple
You didn't
dimming
watch
of the
this when you
lights,
were a kid.
although that
All
certainly
this
was
stuff
used.
happened.
They also
All
made
this
the
stuff
frame rate
happened
much slower,
well
as well
before
as moving frames, making the flashing
Pokemon
lights less rapid, to the point
came
where
into
the light
America.
issue would no longer be
So
a
no,
problem.
this isn't a thing.
All around pretty
from your
fascinating.
childhood.
It's really cool to see a side of these episodes that, unless you were in Japan,
And that's
when it
why
first
I made
happened,
this
you've
comment about it
probably
unless
never
you made
seen
it in
before.
Japan when it first happened, because that really bothered me.
Giovanni is Ash's father. The mystery of who Ash's father
This one's
is one
also-
that's been with the show for forever, with many
I
fans
remember-
speculating as to who it could be.
I think it was
One
summer
of the more popular
23.
theories
This is
that
when I
Giovanni, head of Team
either
Rocket,
summer
is Ash's
23
father.
or
They kinda look similar.
like
it fits with the whole.
probably
no,
yeah, it should
I
be
am
summer
your
2023.
father.
Because that's when
trope.
I
Plus,
this is when I
they live
finished.
relatively close to
This
each
was
other,
like
being
school
only
started
one city
again,
down.
and I was at this
The
point in the
biggest piece
video,
of
and I
evidence
still
that
had like
proponents of
multiple
this
segments to
theory
go
use,
and stuff.
however, comes from
So-
Pokemon Live, that musical we talked about several
Yeah,
years ago.
that's why
In it, it is
the
explicitly
editing
stated
for the
that
stuff
Delia,
after this might be a
Ash's
little
mother,
better.
and Giovanni have a past.
Delia?
This one was really the audio for this was really loud compared to my voice, which was really
You look
annoying
lovely.
for when I was showing it to the Pokemon League.
You and
But
me
it-
back together.
It hasn't been
Imagine
too
that.
bad
That
since
sounds
then,
pretty
but
solid. Until you
granted,
consider the
it's because
other
most people
parts of
complain
the
about my
show.
quality of
Specifically,
of the
later
mic more
on,
than
where
they
Delia
do
explains
my
how, when she was a teenager,
my
she
audio
would
level.
hang out with troublemakers that would later become Team Rocket, which is how she met Giovanni, but that she left them when she met Ash's father,
So
explicitly
yeah, this is
stating that Giovanni
I
is not
used
his
up a
father.
lot of
I don't mean to pry.
original
but,
footage for this one. Not original
What
footage.
did Giovanni mean?
Like raw
about you and
clips
he
uncut
being back
for this
together
one.
again?
I might as well tell you.
I'm
It's
sure
like,
it'll all come out.
I don't think
when he
I
gets
need to
back.
worry about copyright for this one, because, like,
I
nobody
wasn't always
cares
the
about Pokemon
upstanding
Live.
woman, you know. As a teenager,
just such a
I fell
weird
in with
thing,
a bad
so-
crowd, and there was just one boy. He started a gang that eventually became Team Rocket.
The boy was Giovanni?
Well, I didn't stay with him long. When I met Ash's father, I put all that behind me.
Does Ash know?
No, and he mustn't.
In addition, it can be argued that this
So-
segment entirely isn't canon to the story. As it
I
goes
honestly
against
didn't
the
mention
story
anything
that was
about Ash's
established
dad
in the
from-
Team Rocket radio drama,
from,
which, while not as canon
Aim
as
to
the
Master,
episode of
because,
the show,
again,
does
that
have
wasn't
more
out
weight
when I
since it
wrote
was
this
written by
thing
the
and
show's
recorded the
creator.
thing,
All
and
in
I
all,
think
while
maybe
this
when I
theory is
edited it,
canon-y,
I'm not 100%
there's
sure.
zero doubt in my mind
I'm not
that
100%
it's
sure about that, so
completely
quote
false.
me. But, yeah. I'm in the camp of Ash's father, someone we don't know. I don't know if I
T-Rex version of
did the
third movie.
Shudo's mental issues thing
This
justice or
was
not,
Takeshi
or if I
Shudo.
kind of
He was the head
did
writer
it
and
did
showrunner
it
of
in
the
poor
Pokemon
taste.
anime
I don't know. I
during
guess
the original
I guess
series,
nobody complained
and is
about
often
it, so
credited
nobody.
as the father of the Pokemon anime.
So I guess I did
He is
okay enough to
really
where
important.
it wasn't
And
an
to be
issue,
frank,
but
I'm kind
I
of
don't
surprised
know.
we haven't talked about him yet.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
still can't
the
believe I
thing to note
managed
about
to go
Shudo
like
for this
an
entry is
hour
that he,
and 10 minutes
self-medicated
before I
as
talked
a way
about
to
the
cope with
freaking
his
creator of the
struggles
show,
with mental illness and depression,
which is
and that bled a lot
impressive
into
if
his
it warrants
writings.
a
Rather
problem of like
infamously, he had written all 3 of the original Pokemon movies while under the influence
it-
of drugs and alcohol.
if it didn't kind of
Which
negatively
brings
affect how
us
I
to this entry
made
and
the
his
Iceberg,
first script for the
which-
3rd movie.
yeah.
His original idea was
Dude, I
nothing
lucked
at all
out
like the movie
that
we
apparently
got.
the official
In it,
Pokemon
a
channel
Pokemon
had
archaeologist would find a
like a
T-Rex fossil.
trailer
Not a
for
fossil
this
of a
for this
Pokemon that
movie,
resembles a T-Rex,
and like
an
that had all
actual
the best
fossil
cuts
of
of
a
it,
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
so I could
From this
actually,
discovery,
like,
the story would
make this segment,
unfold
'cause
as
I didn't
the fossil
have-
would
I don't
come
have
to
this
life,
movie
and
on
we
DVD,
discover
and,
how Pokemon came to
I
be,
think it left
and how the
Amazon
animals we know from the
before
real world
I
went
was able
extinct.
to record
This
record
story
the
got
video for the
rejected.
segment, so that was
Obviously,
nice that I was able to
Shudo
still be able to do
insisted
this.
that it was rejected because it was too complicated and too much of a status quo change. But the reality was that it was rejected because the story probably wasn't that good.
So
And
I
seeing
made
as the final story for the
so
actual movie
the
is really
the
great,
audio for this one
it's
is a little
definitely worth the
different
right
because
move.
I recorded it
Even
afterwards because I
still,
felt like
it's
my
weird to think
original
about how we
version
almost got such an
of
odd
it didn't
concept.
flow very well and wasn't very good, so I kind of re-recorded it to like make
UK
it less
Poke Rap.
bad because I remember I called the
United
original
Kingdom,
script
the Poke Rap
Jurassic
was
Park
changed a fair
but
bit.
lamer,
Most
which
of these
it's
changes
not
were due
really
to how the
accurate to what it
scheduling of
is,
TV broadcasts
but
differed from the UK and
yeah, I
the
ended up
US.
going in
For
and
example,
rewriting
the-
that and
Don't
re-recording
go
it
away.
because
The
it was
Poke Rap is next.
not that great, which is why the audio is different. Let me tell you how
It was
annoying
removed
this segment
since
was.
UK broadcasts only had
Because
one
the thing
story to
about
break,
the
making
new
the segment
versions of the
pointless.
episodes that
In addition,
Pokemon
any
releases, that they
references
don't
to
have
days
any
the
of
week
like
were removed, since
they
the
don't
week
have
broadcasts didn't
any
do a
of, like,
Monday through Friday
the
release, as the Poke Rap would suggest.
like eye catches or anything. So like the "we'll be right back"
Pokemon
stuff
newspaper strip.
was gone, and you know who that
In the
Pokemon's
early
gone, and so
2000s,
that made
there
it
was a
way
newspaper
harder to
comic based
find
on the
that
Pokemon
kind of
anime that was released.
stuff
Well,
and like
I
record
say
that kind
based
of
on the
stuff.
anime,
But
really they're completely
that was
different
really
in terms of
annoying,
story,
and like,
art
come on,
style,
Pokemon, you can't
tone,
cut that stuff. It's just you
character
can't cut who's
personality,
that Pokemon. It's who's that
quality.
Pokemon.
Really, the only thing that they have in common
That's
is
so
that they take
that's
place in a
annoying.
world
And
with creatures
Pokemon,
called
don't stop
Pokemon,
doing that.
starring a kid named
Bring
Ash
back
with his partner
who's that
Pokemon
Pokemon,
named Pikachu,
please.
and his friends named Misty and Brock.
This
Outside of
is
that,
this segment's
yeah, very
literally
different.
just me
I
stealing
would
from
go into more detail about this
Animated
comic,
Ginger.
but
Go watch his
honestly,
video instead
Animated Ginger
if you want
already
to
made
know
a
more about this. I
fantastic
mean,
video about this
also
script,
go
and he
watch
does a
Digital
far
Games
better
video
job
on it
covering this
because
than
they
I
probably
ever
did it
could.
even better than he did.
Pretty
So
much all my footage for this
like,
segment comes from it. And if you want to know
yeah,
more
but
about
like
this
that video
subject,
wasn't out when I
highly
record.
recommend watching his
That video wasn't out when I uploaded this video. It was
Hiroki.
it only came out after
Hiroki
I
is a
made my
character from the
source
Diamond and Pearl
my
series,
source list for
although in
the
dub, he was
comment
called
for the
Hamilton.
pinned comment.
He was a Krogan
So,
trainer in season 11, episode
like,
28, Cream of the Krogan Crop. On a surface level, he
Yeah,
doesn't seem
most of my
that
information
much
came
different
from the
the
Animated
average
Ginger segment,
character
not the
today.
Digital Gaming
So
segment,
why is
because
he here?
it wasn't out when I made
Well,
this
the
segment.
reason for that is because
Pretty
of
much
his
all of the
initial
Hiroki
design.
stuff, it's from
In the
Dogazu's
first
backpack.
airing of the
Dogazu's
episode,
got an awesome
Hiroki
write-up on
heavily resembled the main character of a
Yep.
manga called The
it.
Crimson
It's got an
City.
awesome.
And when I
It's
mean
got
heavily
Dogazu's got an awesome write-up
I
on
mean
this
he was
one.
like a carbon
It's
copy. So
I
when the
feel like a
higher-ups
broken
at
record at this
Pokemon
point.
saw this,
Go
they thought, wow,
go watch
this is
go
very
like
on the nose.
check out
We
Dogazu's
can get
backpack.
sued.
It's really good.
And So
wow, that's
in
really
later
fuzzy. I
editions
should
of the
have.
episode, his design was completely
I
changed.
keep forgetting
and the character
to
looked nothing at all like
to
the
like
original.
actually go to the
This
official
version
source
is the one we
file
got here
on
in the West,
Bulbapedia to get the
so
clean
a lot
version.
of people who watch the dub probably don't even know about this
I
change. Well, now you do.
Dude, you don't want to know why I put that specific segment in.
Pikachu and Pichu is banned in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Pikachu and Pichu was the 7th
So yeah,
Pikachu
this
short,
was
and it was released alongside
kind of an
the
interesting
Pokemon movie. You know this
segment, because
short.
like,
It's the one that confirms that at least 1 year has passed since the beginning of the series. But that's something you already know. Here's something you probably didn't.
like a lot of this
This
segment
episode
is me
is
complaining about,
actually
hey,
banned
this seems a
in
little
Japan.
unfair. It's just
Yeah,
drugs. Who
releases
cares?
of the 3rd movie
I
on
take
DVD
it
and
back,
Blu-ray don't feature the short anymore.
because
And
the
airings of
person
movie on
who
TV don't
did
play
the
the
who
short
did the
film before
drugs,
either.
they started
Now,
selling
why is
NFTs,
Well,
and that's
it all
mega
has to do
cringe.
with the voice
So
actress of the narrator,
no,
Natori Saki.
mm-mm.
In
No
2009,
more sympathy
she was
from me.
arrested for possession and use of drugs. Because of the arrest, the short was banned in order to not be associated with the scandal. Personally, I think that's a bit
I
extreme.
mean, I still
especially
think
with what we know about
I still
Takeshi
don't agree
Shiro's
with
heavy
banning
drug
it
use.
over it, but
And
like,
he's far more important to Pokemon than Saki.
whatever at this point.
But
It's such a
hey,
mess.
What do I know?
Such a mess. I love the song. This is
Cursing
such a good
Pokemon.
song. Okay, this segment.
Throughout
This segment's
the show
completely
and
wrong.
other
100%
adjacent
wrong.
animes to the main
This has
Pokemon
everything I
show,
talked about. This
there
is
are
not what
occasions
this
where
video is
certain
about.
characters curse.
It's not what this
Well, kinda.
is not
One
what this
example that is cited by lots of fans is in episode 4,
segment is
which they
about.
claim that
Let me.
Ash has crap when talking back to
I
Samurai
talked
after
about
he
it
called
in
him a
the
novice.
pinned comment
I
here.
hope you've learned your lesson, novice.
Like all of it's
Your
wrong.
letting that
Oops.
Weedle escape almost cost our lives.
Like, it's all wrong.
Novice crack.
It's all
However,
wrong.
Ash
This
is
is
actually saying crack in this moment, as confirmed by the official closed captions. Another example is when James refers to the TV as the boob tube.
this is
Granted,
what it's
this is
actually.
cursed with a huge
about.
asterisk. And
Let
the
me-
last one I
Yep. Let me show you. Please don't be an ad. 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 This is what cursing Pokemon is actually about. This is like from like the Iceberg source itself. Like the original forum posts were like these guys on Mobilepedia were making the Iceberg image. This is what they were originally referencing. It's not anything I was talking about in the segment. That segment's just completely wrong. So don't know why it's freaking out. This is what that's what cursing Pokemon actually is.
talk about here
I
is
was
in
completely
Pokemon
wrong.
Origins.
Just completely wrong
In
on
the fight
this.
against Brock, Red
So
shouts,
now you
"God
know.
damn,"
You
several
know.
times. Or does he? See, here's the thing. All of those swear words
So
come
I
from
would
the
like to
Japanese
apologize
Brock,
for being
and
incorrect on
specifically
that.
The word
That
"Shinko."
was
Now, there are
that was a
couple
mistake
ways
on
to
my
translate
part.
this word,
That's
and
probably
one
like
of those is damn.
that probably is like the
However,
biggest
other
mistake of the
equally
entire
valid ways to
video.
translate the word
Like bigger
are,
than
"Oh, no,"
bigger than me
and "Oops."
getting the
So,
Clefairy segment
what is
incorrect.
Red
Bigger
saying in
than
the scene?
me
It is
shifting
quite
the
literally
blame
all up
of
to
Beauty and the Peach
interpretation. Language is
onto
weird.
the Misty stuff. This thing was the most incorrect thing in the video.
Celebi
So-
Movie Tokubetsuhen.
Like I was talking about in the
I'm
same
not
look
quite sure
segment,
what this
I
one is,
kind
but
of
based on previous entries,
I kind
I
of
think
built
can make a pretty good guess.
this in a weird
To
way,
me,
where
there are
like
two
I only
possibilities
talk
as
about what I
this
need to
can
talk
be.
about
The
with the
first is
Samuel
that,
Oak
like Me
stuff
Too, Celebi also
in
possibly
the
received a
Samuel
special
Oak
edition
segment, and then
with
I
some
talk
minor
about like the
changes, such as
changes
new
to
CGI
the
and sorts.
like
However, I
the
have my
U.S.
doubts
version of
about
this
one,
movie
since I couldn't find any evidence
in
of
this
such a
segment.
version
That caused a lot of
existing,
confusion
especially
about like why I
compared to all the
didn't
information
talk
I got
about
from Mewtwo Special Edition.
The
second
about
possibility is
that
this
stuff
could be a
in the
reference
first
to the
entry,
differences
which
between the
I didn't do it
Japanese
because I
and
thought it was
English
I'll
versions
just
of
talk
the
about it
ending.
here, which
You see,
kind of
that
caused
ending
people to
as
get
tied
confused
back to
who
the
like
Samuel
watched that
Oak entry
part
is
originally but
actually
didn't get it to
exclusive
this
to
point in
the
the
English
video
version of the
and were like
movie.
really confused about
In
that.
the
So
original Japanese,
that's bad.
Sammy goes
And
back to his
also,
original time, but Ash never calls Oak.
it's another one of the things
The
where I can
evidence
tell that I
suggests
didn't know what I
Oak
was
is Sammy
talking
in
about
this
because I
version
was
is
like
at the
really
very end,
yabby
when
about
Tracy
it and
finds
like
the sketch of
talking
Pichu
a
and
lot
Celebi from the events of the movie
instead of just
in
getting to the
Oak's
point.
possession. The reason this new ending
And
was made, according to
bad.
the localizers of
With
the
that
film,
said,
is because they
I
didn't
now know
like
for
how
a
Oak
fact
ended the
it
question of
is
whether Sammy was Oak was,
the English
and
version
wanted
being
an ending with a
redubbed
definitive
to
answer.
Japanese. That's
While
what this was
also
because
could be what
I
the
went back
entry
and
is
looked through that
referencing,
old forum
I
of
still also
the
have my
origins of
reservations,
this
since
iceberg,
if this entry is referring
and
to the
that
original
was
ending,
what the
it
original
would be weird to
creators
call that the special
intended it to
edition.
be.
And
And granted, the
special
video was
edition is
lost,
in
but like
reference to the new
all the
ending
references
instead,
stuff pointed
and that
to
also wouldn't fully
the
make
Japanese,
sense, since I couldn't
the
really
English
find
version of
any
the
evidence
ending
pointing
being
one
translated
way
to
or the
Japanese
other
then
as
aired
to
in
whether
TV.
Japan got the English
So
ending.
that's what it is.
Despite
That's
my
what this
reservations,
is.
however, I still think that the different endings is what the entry is most likely talking about. Though, if I'm wrong, please correct me. The original first movie teaser and Adult Misty. Yet another
Yep.
interesting bit of information around the first movie.
The first movie's
This time, we're
so
talking about the first teaser
so
trailer for
full
the
of
film.
weird stuff
Being
about
so
it.
early in the movie's development, is very
Like,
different from the
this
film
one
we
was
got.
one I
The
knew
teaser
for a long
features
time
two women and
because
a child walking in a field of grass.
like it's one of
One of the
those
women
like
is describing some
it's
of the
like
events
Baby's
of the film, while the teaser is cutting
obscure
back and forth
Pokemon
between the scenes
anime
from the
trivia
movie
fact.
and the scene of the three in
Like,
the
oh,
field.
the
Although
original
most,
trailer
if not
has a
all
dull
the scenes
Misty
aren't in
and
the
you stack
final
Ash's
film.
kid.
There has
And
long
then, you know,
been speculation
Poke
around
Shippers
this
began
teaser,
fueling the
with many
propaganda and
theorizing
stuff.
as to what the original
So,
story of the first movie could have been.
Yeah, this one
One
was
of the most
one that
popular
I
theories,
knew about for a
although
long
not debunked by
time.
those who made the
But
film,
I'm really
is
happy
that
that it's
the adult
debunked
woman
because that would be
explaining the
really
events
because
is the
like
adult
Poke Shippers
Misty,
were getting really
and that
annoying
the child
about
she's
that.
talking to is the child of her and Ash.
Yeah.
As the theory goes, Misty is
So,
explaining
like,
a story
not
about
a
the
big
child's
fan.
father,
Anyway.
Ash, and the kinds of adventures
So,
he had, or possibly
yeah, I
even
mean,
the events
I
that
still
took his
have to
life.
talk about like the
Now,
fan theory because it's
obviously,
just
the
such
story
a big
changed
prevalent
during
thing,
the
even if it
development,
got debunked,
but it's
but
still interesting to see how it was in its very early stages.
So, and I think this is the last. Oh boy. So, I didn't say
This is a
that
pretty
because
well-known myth.
I'm
Allegedly, when you play the section of the Poke Route,
not going
where
to
the
say I'm
singers
super
sing
religious, but I am religious to an extent. So, I didn't want to say that.
backwards, you can
And
hear,
then I was showing this video to one of my
yeah,
friends
I'm not gonna be saying that.
in like the living room,
Sorry.
and my dad was
Of course,
kind of
when
in the
you actually
kitchen,
play it backwards,
like grabbing something, and he
this is the
saw
pure
that,
garbage that sounds
and then he started
nothing like
chewing me
human
out
speech.
for it, and like, this is why I don't share this kind of stuff with you, man.
I'm
Like, seriously,
kinda surprised
do you
that this
not
entry was so far
do you not
down.
trust my better
I thought
judgment
the
to not
religious panic
believe in
around
this kind of
Pokemon
stuff?
was
But
pretty well documented. And it's
yeah, that
probably only
was
down here because,
that was
ooh,
a kind of a
Satan.
frustrating thing. But yeah,
Whatever.
this is very well known. I only know it's I don't know why it's this low on the
There are two things this
on the
entry could
iceberg.
possibly be about.
Outside of
Professor
you know,
Ivy
it's
is a
spooky,
lesbian,
scary,
the headcanon,
or whatever.
or Professor Ivy is a lesbian. The
I
Twitter
had to
rumor.
rewrite this
Let's start
so
with
many
Professor Ivy
times
is a lesbian,
and like
the
re-record
headcanon.
it so many
At the
times
start of
because
the second
my
season,
initial
Brock left
draft of
Ash
it
with
was
Professor Ivy
very
in the Orange Islands.
very
At the end
like
of the
kind of
season, Brock is in Palatown,
dismissive and
but completely
angry.
shuts down when anyone
And like
even
when I
mentions
recorded
the
it,
name
it
Ivy.
sounded very dismissive and
With that
angry.
information, fans have
And then when I started
long
editing it,
speculated as
I
to
was
what
like,
happened
oh
with
wow,
Pam
this
and
sounds
Ivy.
really
In the
dismissive
show,
and angry.
Misty suggests
And so
that
I
Ivy
had to
simply
rewrite
dumped
it
or rejected
to
him.
be
So that's a
to like make it
possibility.
less
Other
harsh
ideas
and
that
make
have been
it
thrown around include
less
Ivy having
very
a husband or
emotionally
boyfriend,
charged.
Brock getting Ivy pregnant and then running away
I
from
love
his
this joke.
responsibilities the same way his parents
I love-
did.
Like that's a very
The
subtle
one we
joke
care about
that
is a theory that suggests
I got in
Ivy
there, but I'm glad I got that in. And
a
also speaking of, dude,
etc.
this
The
was
one we
another
care
one that
about is the theory
is this stupid
that
two-framer.
suggests that Ivy is a lesbian.
I'm so glad I got this joke in. And like it's literally 2 frames, and I love it so much. It's look, I may not talk about Owl House a lot on this channel, in spite of my profile clicking a lot, but I am glad I got this joke in on the first one, and I'm so. And it really puts a smile on face that the first comment on this that you see on the top of this thing, the most liked one here, is about this joke. I'm so happy about that. But yeah, so
Lesbian, and as such, would have
I
zero
rewrote
attraction
this
to Brock.
part a lot
This
to
theory,
like make it to
while
like
not as
tone it
popular
down,
as
like
open theory,
be
is
more
still overall a
reasonable,
pretty
calm,
solid
and
theory
rational
that
about
has
this,
had
because
great
like
staying power
I
over the
want
years.
to be.
All right, now let's talk
When I
about Professor
originally wrote
Ivy
it,
as a
I was
lesbian,
trying
the
to be
Twitter rumor.
mad at like
In the late
the idea of
2010s,
misinformation
early
and like
a Twitter user had
like
made a post
stuff
stating that
not being true and stuff.
the showrunner
But
and
it
creator
started
of the
to,
anime,
but like when I
originally
actually
intended
recorded it
Professor Ivy
and
to be a
like
lesbian.
and
for
saw
that
it,
to be the
it
reason
felt
that
more
Brock
like I was
left.
getting angry at the
This tweet
idea
was later
of
picked
like
up
people
by several
thinking that
websites, blogs,
Ivy's
and
lesbian,
YouTube
which is
videos,
fine. You
and the
can
rumor
think that,
spread.
you can believe that. There's no
However,
evidence
as
supporting
far
it
as we know,
or
this
or not
claim
supporting
seems
it.
to be
So it's
false.
just one of those
Or
things
at the
where
very
like yeah,
least,
like you
there
have your
is no
head
source to
canon.
back
That's
it up.
fine.
The
And
original
so
tweet source is Shooter's novelization.
I had to
which
rewrite it
doesn't
to like
mention
make
Ivy
it
even
not
once,
as
since
to
it
like be
does
more
not go as
calm
far
and
as
make
the
it
Orange Islands arc.
and like be more
In
objective
addition,
about it and just like
none of
being
Shooter's
like,
blog
hey,
posts ever mention
this is
Ivy being
about
a lesbian,
this is
although
about
they don't
what
comment
the
on her
truth is, and
sexuality
the
either
truth
way.
is we don't have
So,
a
overall,
comment
the evidence
about
doesn't really point
from
one way
Shudo
or the
about
other on
this.
this topic.
we don't have
And
any information
seeing
on
as
this. That's the
Shudo's
issue.
dead, we'll likely
Not
never
not
know
the fact
his
that
original
this theory
intentions.
exists. It's that
I guess moral of the story is Don't
it's that.
take Twitter's
Yeah,
word
that's the
for
moral you should
something
take from it.
because
Not that
misinformation's really bad
Ivy's
on
lesbian's
there.
bad. It's that don't do your research,
The
please.
first Pokemon movie's original ending.
Sorry, about that.
First Pokemon movie. You
Oh my
never
God,
fail to
so-
have cool trivia facts.
I'm not.
This time,
So,
we're talking about the ending. and how
Seeing
Shiro's
Misty there
original plan
reminded me
differs from
of
what we
something I
got.
wish I had.
So,
I
in
wish
the
I could talk
original,
about more.
Racer
So,
races everyone's
according to the
memories, and Ash's
DVD,
company leaves
like
behind
audio
with a few on
commentary
their journey.
of the first
Sounds
movie,
lame, but it's
in
actually
the
pretty
scene
good
where
ending for
Ash
the film.
dies, and
However,
dies,
in
but like in the
Shiro's
scene when he
earlier
turns to
draft, the
stone,
ending would have
and like
Ash die.
everyone's
Now, before you start making
everyone's
your
getting all
clickbaity
sad and
headlines,
stuff.
let me explain.
Misty says,
Ash wouldn't
please no.
die
But
during
according
events
to
of the
the
story. Instead, he dies 6 feet
the
under
voice
trail.
directors,
That is to
in the
say,
booth,
movie flashes
they had
forward to Ash's
Rachel
final
Lillis,
moments
God rest
on
her
Earth.
soul,
Ash
say my
reminisces
bike
about his
as like a
time with
joke,
Pikachu, Brock,
and like when they
Misty,
were
and all the
recording,
others.
which
He
is
thinks about his
so
regrets as
so
an adult
funny.
and how much
And I
more
love
life
that
he
so
has as a
much.
child. Then
But
he would
anyway,
die and get
another great
reincarnated
source
as a young
on
child
specifically
yet again,
Shudo and the
setting
stuff
off
he
on a
contributed to the
new
show,
journey to
which
discover
is
the
a lot
meaning
on
of
account of
life.
he's the creator.
Now,
A lot of those comes
obviously,
from
this is
the
very
article by
strange.
Dr.
You can
Lava
tell it
about
comes from a
Shudo
much
and his
earlier
time at
movie
the
where a lot
as
of
the
story
Pokemon
points
anime
were set in
showrunner.
stone.
So
But
that's
it's still
another great
interesting to
source
see
you
how
should
the
look
movie
up
could have
and
been
like
so
check
radically
out because
different
it's
from the one
so
we got.
it's really cool stuff. It's really interesting
Misty
stuff.
X Mewtwo fanfic.
Dude. I'll level with
yeah,
you.
The
I didn't do squat. I didn't do squat for
Somewhere on the
this
internet,
for
there
this
exists
segment
a
because like
Misty Mewtwo
dude,
fanfic.
the title kind of explains itself.
Yeah.
But I don't want to
Yeah.
and like I didn't want to actually
A
like
Misty
I didn't want to actually like look at it and like see all that stuff. So I just like said, okay, yeah, this thing that's just on the internet. I don't think it's on AO3. I think it's on something else. But like I had to get my pod shot in. Come on. So
Mewtwo fanfiction.
yeah, didn't
Yeah.
actually do any research for literally the only
yeah.
thing I did was I felt bad that I didn't do any real thing for this. So that's why I checked the big ship list thing and saw okay, it's called Cerulean Cave shipping. So that's pretty much the research I did for that.
Gross.
Sorry.
Takeshi's Paradise
Okay,
was
so
removed after 6
This is
episodes
why
because
I didn't talk
parents
about
complained.
song
Takeshi's
before
Paradise
the
was
girls
the ninth
segment
Japanese
because
ending of the
I was going to
Pokemon
talk about it
anime.
here
It's a song
and
about
like I
Brock
didn't
and his world
think
of
that
love, the
this was
happy,
that
the
was
sad,
reference to this
and all in
song
between.
because I thought
Viewers
that
from
it'd
America
be
may
weird if they had
recognize it
two
as the
separate
only song
segments
Brock
on
knows.
this one
From several
thing.
gags that
So
Brock has to entertain people for a long
I think it's
time.
weird.
A joke that lasts
So like
all
I
the way
thought
up
it was
into the
weird and I
Diamond
didn't
Pearl
think
era.
that they would do it that
Now,
way. But
here's the funny
looking
thing
at it was
about
probably
this
was
song.
that. But
For how well known
yeah.
it is,
Also
it was
I
only
loved that.
actually used for a long time. A
Also
joke that lasts all the way up
I
into
love
the
this
Diamond and
clip.
Pearl era.
It's so silly and goofy.
Now, here's the funny
But,
thing
like,
about this song. For how well known it is, it was only actually used as the ending song
Yeah,
for
this
6
seems to be-
episodes. Why is that?
Yeah,
The
so,
Japanese fandom thought.
Again,
Much speculation
this was
was
a thing
made.
where I
In the
wrote
end,
and
the
recorded
real
it
theory is
before
that it was
the
removed due
Aim to be a
parents
Masters came
complaining.
out. So
Whether they
that's why a
complained
lot of
because
this
they found the
information
song
sounds a little
annoying, or
outdated.
whether
And
they
like
complained
it's
about
now
the overt
obvious
romantic
more than
themes
ever
I'm
when
not
they
sure.
considering that they
But
brought
this
it
was
back for
prevailing
Aim to be a
assumption among
Master.
the community. That
So
was
this
until
was a
the
lot more
2017
mysterious
interview
before
with
that
Brock's
happened.
Japanese voice actor,
That's
Yuji Ueda.
and like
In
now
it,
we know
he
okay this
stated
stuff is
that
definitely
Takeshi's
true.
Paradise was always meant to be a limited time ending,
So
and that it was pulled off the air at the
yeah,
time the showrunners wanted
this
it to be
was
pulled
it's
off.
one of the more outdated
Nothing
entries,
else.
but
Mystery
it's
solved.
still like interesting and stuff. So
Porygon did nothing wrong.
man,
So, Let's go.
there's still so many
all the way
people
back
in this
to the
comments
first layer, the
getting
Electric Soldier
angry about
Porygon.
the Porygon
Recall the
thing.
big moment,
which,
the one
like,
that sent
and,
kids
like,
to the hospital.
I
What
tried my
actually
best
happened?
to explain
The
why
missile
they
was launched
did
at
it,
Ash and the gang, and Pikachu destroyed
and
it
like
with a Thunderbolt.
basically I
Note
tried
something
to
that
basically
wasn't
quote
mentioned in that
sweet
synopsis.
on it.
That's
Well, not
right.
quote, but like
Porygon.
rephrase what
You
sweets
see,
on it,
the
and
actual
failed miserably
attack
at
that
doing
caused
it.
the troubles
To the
wasn't
point where
committed
I
by
just
Porygon,
was not
but
able
by
to convey the
Pikachu.
same idea he did.
And
He
this
did.
is
If
the
you want to know
argument that
why
Porygon did
Porygon
nothing wrong.
doesn't come
You
back
see,
in any of
ever
the
since
anime
that
stuff,
episode,
watch his
Porygon's
video on the
appearances in
Porygon
the anime have
episode
been limited
because
to
it explains it so
non-existent.
much better than me,
It appears in
and
transition
he's
scenes,
way more
a
better at
background photo,
articulating his
and
thoughts
who's
than
that
I do,
Pokemon spot.
than
But
I
in terms
am.
of
So
actual appearances,
again, if you're a
nothing.
fan of this channel,
Many fans argue
you are
that
100%
this is
going to be a fan
unfair,
of Swede.
as it was Pikachu's
You really should
Thunderbolt,
check him out.
not Porygon's, that caused the issue.
So
It got to the point where the Pokemon Twitter account once tweeted,
yeah,
Porygon did nothing wrong. Although this tweet has since
I'm-
been deleted due to the uproar.
like I
it
said,
caused.
I
Here's
try
the
my
thing,
best to
though,
explain
or at
it,
least
but
the
I'm
reason
bad
I
at
think
it,
Porygon
so
hasn't
sorry
really
about
carried
that.
since. When someone says, "Hey,
Unfortunate.
remember that Pikachu episode?"
So
You have no idea which episode they're talking
This
about.
was.
Pikachu has been in so
This
many.
is surprisingly one of the
Hard to
more
narrow it down.
controversial segments
someone says,
in the
"Hey,
video.
Remember the Porygon
Because,
episode? You know exactly
know,
which one they're talking about. Whether it's right or wrong, Porygon will always be attached to this
It's
episode.
Kind
And
of.
so it will forever be hidden in the anime.
So it's kind of like a.
Pokemon
Like,
Rise
I
Up,
mean,
Shudo's intended
Porygon
ending.
has its fans, and the way it's been
Fun
treated,
never ends
I
with
get it.
Shudo, does it?
That they're
This time,
mad,
we're
but
talking
like
about
also,
his proposed
come
ending
on.
for the series as a
like
whole.
these are hundreds
You
of
see,
people's
when it first
lives who were
released,
forever traumatized
Nobody
because of
expected
it.
Pokemon to be such a massive hit. Because of
So-
that, the original anime was only
I
greenlit
wish
for
I
one
could talk. I
season
wish
in
I
the
was.
beginning.
Could be able to talk about
Obviously,
this
changed,
in
but
the
Shudo had an
in the
idea
Pikachu
for how the
Revolts
show
video,
would
but
end
I
if
wasn't
really
able to
was
do
the
it
one run.
because I couldn't
And
fit it.
boy,
I couldn't
is
find
it
a
dark.
place
According
to
Shudo, the way he
to fit it in.
intended for
But
the
like,
show to end was
granted,
in
that's
a
why I
massive
put because like that's
Pokemon
why I
revolution,
put
where Pokemon
so
would
many
overthrow
Pikachu
their
Revolts
human masters to make a
segments
new
in
world
this
order.
video because it's so
The
reminiscent
top
of it.
piece and frontrunner of the revolution
So,
would,
God, I
of all
love
Pokemon,
Pikachu's.
be Pikachu,
I love
believe
Pikachu's
it or not.
malicious face in
Now,
that
that sounds
episode. It's so good.
Insane, and like it goes against everything Pokemon.
And this is another one where it's a
but
Dr.
this
Lava.
was
It
also
was like a
very
Dr.
likely an
Lava.
early
It was from
idea.
that
And as
not
it
interview.
became
It was
more
from that
clear that Pokemon
write up
wasn't
on
going
Shudo.
anywhere,
So if you
it
want more
became
information
less
on it, you
likely
should
that we would see
definitely
this
check it out. It's a
Pokemon
really good write up. I
revolution
think
come to
again I should
fruition.
have it in the
Still,
pinned
it's
comment
weird
and
to
its
think about.
replies. And
Toshihiro Ono's
don't even
Rocket
have music
Hentai.
for this. So
This is
funny
Toshihiro
thing,
Ono.
I
He's
didn't
the
actually
writer
believe
and
this was
artist of the
real
Electric Tail of
for
Pikachu
the
manga,
longest
a manga
time
that is a loose
until
adaptation of the
I
anime.
like even when I
Now,
wrote
there
it down
are
and
two
recorded it,
things you need to
I
know
didn't
about him
believe
for
that
this
it was
entry.
real.
Number one,
It wasn't
it is
until
well-known
I
and well
was editing
documented
for
that
it and
he
like looking
is a
up.
hentai artist.
I was looking
He's
up
worked
like
on
images
several
and stuff
hentais before he wrote the
to
Electric Tail
make
of Pikachu.
the video.
And if you
When I
actually
saw like
look
the
at
trivia
the
facts
uncensored
about
Japanese art for that manga,
the
boy does it show.
this
Second
hentai
is that he is
in
the
the
man
rocket
that drew
shipping
this image.
in the rocket shipping
Yes, your eyes
Wikipedia
are
article
not
that said,
deceiving you.
"Hey,
That
this is a
an
real
image of
thing."
James
But I
and a
realized,
very pregnant
oh my god,
Jessie.
this is actually a
You
real
see,
thing.
in the manga,
And, like,
these two characters are confirmed to
so-
be married, and as the image implies,
Yeah, this
had a
was
kid.
certainly an
So
interesting
that's the end
segment
of it,
to
right?
make. Which,
Ono
granted,
makes the panel,
this was a
rocket
lot
shippers
easier
get
of
their
a
fuel,
segment to make
prices for the
than
fourth volume of the
the
manga
before the
skyrocket.
girls one.
All's well that
So,
ends well.
like that one
Except
kind of
no,
prepared me better
doesn't
for
end
this
there.
segment here.
Yeah, Jesse
But-
and James have a kid, but have you
Yeah.
ever wondered how that kid was conceived? No? Well, too bad, because Ono...
This line right here is what made me believe that this was actually real. I didn't believe this was a real thing until I saw this line, and you know, I'm like, oh my god, it's real. The rocket hentai is real.
made a
So,
hentai
yeah.
about that anyway.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Ew. Takeshi Shudo's novelization.
I'm surprised this is at the very bottom, considering
Finally,
how
we
it's
have come
kind of
to our
like a
last
big.
entry, and
a-
this one's
It's like
actually
it's
pretty
such a
easy for
big
me.
thing when it comes to the
In the
Shudo
late
lore
90s,
about like
Takeshi
his work
Shudo,
on the
the creator
anime
of
stuff. But
Pokemon
like,
anime, was
yeah,
given
I
the
don't really go into
opportunity
too
to
much
write a
detail
novel
about
on the
this
Pokemon
because
anime without the
I
corporate
originally
oversight
intended
of the
for me to make
Pokemon company.
for the follow up for this
From that
Iceberg to
opportunity
be
came
a
two
video
light
on
novels
that
are known
novel.
as Pocket
Like I
Monsters
have
the
a script written
Animation,
out and stuff, but like
or, as I like to call
I'm not
it,
gonna lie, it's not really
Pokemon the
meshing
Animation,
together
the
well. Like
novelization.
right now, it's just me going
Anyway,
through the book,
these two
reading
novels
it,
are
and like
basically
explaining my
Shudo's
thoughts.
unfiltered interpretations of the
There's not a lot of
Pokemon world,
information
and it
in
is
English about it,
absolutely
so
fascinating.
I can't really talk about its
There's
history
the
and
obvious
its
stuff
and stuff like that.
lots of people
So
know, such as how this
I
novel
don't
is
know,
where we get the most
it's not coming
information about
together
Ash's
well, and that's
father.
why it's
Spoiler,
despite
deadbeat who
like I
abandoned a 19
wanted to
pregnant
make
Delia.
this video, it
but
hasn't
there's
been.
also
I haven't been able
Shudo's
to make it
take
come
on how the
together.
world and government
So that's a
of the
little
Pokemon
frustrating.
world
So
works.
I don't know. Maybe it'll
The
come out.
biggest
Maybe it
example
won't.
is how
I won't
10-year-olds are
know.
considered legal adults
I don't
in this
know.
novel.
I'll try.
The example
I'll
Shudo
I'll
gives
certainly
is
try,
that
but
if you steal
it's
something from a convenience
right
store
now.
in
It's
our
not
world,
the.
you get scolded.
I
And
have
your
like
parents
I
have
can
to
show
apologize,
you
but that's it. In the Pokemon world,
the.
that can get you arrested for theft.
Actually, I'm probably not going to show you
there
the
are
script, but like
so many
have the script.
weird and
it's
interesting
I have
things in this
it's like
book.
written and stuff, but it's not
Frankly,
very
I think
good.
it
I don't have a
deserves its own
conclusion yet.
discussion.
I don't.
So I'll
It,
leave
it,
this
it
topic
feels
for
kind of
now.
the video. It's right now feels kind of aimless. You know, so
And
like
that is
I don't know what
everything.
the point,
That
like
is the
what it
Pokemon Anime
adds
Iceberg
to the
explained
world.
to the best
you know?
of my ability.
But I
There
suppose
are so
maybe I
many
can
things
find
that
it.
we've seen today.
Maybe
But despite how much
I
there
hope.
was, there's still so much more depth we could have explored in this
I really
series.
like this
New things
conclusion. I was
to learn
able
and old
to.
things we've yet to discover.
Now this is
It
so
may be
awesome. We
never
found
ending,
that
but
when
you
I
know
was
what? That's my
writing,
favorite
when I
part
was
of Pokemon.
making this.
There's so much to it, so much depth
Yeah.
of knowledge to learn about one single topic, and yet that's just one facet of the franchise.
Yeah,
there's a lot
I'm
here
really
in the
proud of
anime,
this conclusion
but it's
because
not
it gets
just
at the heart of
anime.
what I love about
It's
Pokemon.
also the mangas and the
it's
cards
such a
and
deep,
the spin-off games,
deep franchise
and
with so many
definitely the mainline
things to
series,
see.
all of which have just as
good
much
stuff.
depth to them.
It is
Yeah.
truly never ending, and that's awesome.
Just
Circling back around to the anime again, the future is very wide open at this point. Lots of big changes we haven't seen in a long while, and a lot of uncertainty about how things will pan out. But regardless, I'm still probably going to be here for the ride.
I still only watched the first two
So,
episodes of
I guess
Horizon.
here's to the next 20 years of Pokemon
It's not because I don't
animation,
want to. It's just
and
that
to
I
bright future
don't have a
ahead.
Netflix. I don't have Netflix, so I haven't been able to watch it. Yeah, that didn't look too good, but like, yep, that's the Iceberg. That's where it all started. That's wow. I didn't have any end cards. Really, I should have done that. I'll probably do that later, but yeah, that's the Iceberg. That's all that jazz. It's a rough video. There's definitely stuff where like I like things I could have improved and things where like I'm better at stuff than I was when I made this. So I don't think it's bad for a first video, but it is definitely a first video, you know? Like the audio's terrible. There's some errors and stuff. My research and like there's so many things. There's like a bunch of stuff that I got wrong or I didn't express very well. Like I am still really happy how it turned out, and I am really happy that it is my most popular video by a wide margin because it's still to this day the one I put the most effort into. Like again, this was 2 years of work. It was 2 years of building this thing. So yeah, that's the Iceberg. I don't know if I'm gonna. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna do something like this again. I probably won't, but I will still continue to do Pokemon stuff. Like not even just I'm doing a lot of anime stuff right now, but that's because it's like the thing that's in my wheelhouse the most. Like I want to do manga stuff. I want to do card TCG stuff. I want to do video game stuff. But yeah, so did anyone show up here today? It's not looking like it. Let me put some Pokemon music or something so we don't. I think I might do one more jam session today and then call it a stream. I don't know, so there we go. That's some nice music to play in there. So, yeah, that's the Pokemon Iceberg. I'm gonna turn down the volume actually, it's really loud. So, there's a lot of other videos what other things I could show? So many things I did in the first year. Like, obviously my second most popular video is that Owl House AMV, which it's weird because I think like not a lot of people watched it, but the people who do watch it over and over and over again. Like most of my views for the Owl House AMV is from like people who put it in their AMV playlists and just like have it play whenever. That's interesting. I'm surprised this one did very well. Granted, I think it's because I got it out in a very timely manner, you know. So like literally the Saturday this happened, and then I spent all of Sunday making like literally I was working on this video while the UCLA game was happening, and like I had the UCLA fight song on my computer ready to like, if they upset Miami that day, I was ready to have a segment on them if that happened. They didn't end up happening, but like, I made that video and I uploaded probably like the Saturday morning when it came out, and then, or either that or the Monday morning. Either way, that made it do really well because I it's actually timely for once. But yeah, that was a successful one. Randomly, this episode of Backyard Baseball was successful. I'm really happy the Worlds video was successful because I was worried because it came out a week after Worlds happened. But that was another video I thought turned out well. This one's funny because it's one of my most disliked video, and I know it's 100% because I opened with Silksong's not a real game, which I still believe. I don't think that game's real. So yeah, this one was pretty successful. I'm really happy that these three were successful. Were successful by my standards of normally nobody watches anything I post, but like this one was a good video. It was really easy to make, really quick to make, but I think I did a good job. This one was really hard because the thing is I didn't know how to keyframe on shortcuts when I made this. So I was like literally splitting the image, moving it around to try to get it to look that way. And you know, that was very difficult, but I'm really happy it turned out well because like this was such a funny joke I made in the server. And like I'm so glad I got I'm so glad that I was able to make it into an actual video. It's one of my best ones. It's so good. I was happy the Valentine's Day cover did well. That was one I really cut my teeth on. I'm a little disappointed that this video, the Olympics video, was the second, like behind only the anime Iceberg. This one was probably the second most difficult video, like the second most video I put the most time and effort into. And like it didn't do too well when the Olympics were happening, which was unfortunate, but I mean I still am proud of it and I think it was good. And like also I learned a very hard lesson that day that the Olympics are just about as cutthroat about their copyright as ShowPro is. That was not a fun video to try to get working on that. So here, this was literally just 2 a.m. creative bursts that made this thing. Like it was such a dumb video, but I love it. This one I made for a contest. God, I cannot believe I did that video. I cannot believe I made this video. This was so stupid of me to do. Why did I do this? Yeah, and then once you get down, you get to, I'm really disappointed this video didn't do too well because you know, it was one that I was really passionate about. And I really wanted to get a lot to like have a lot of people see and like hopefully get out the vote, but unfortunately didn't do too well. I'm really happy the Leafs videos did well too. Well, I mean, I got this one out pretty quickly, but not quickly enough because there was people who looked at this video thinking it was this one when like the Leafs first lost. I should have just made this video before Game 7 happened because it was inevitable. But come on, the Leafs are the Leafs. Anyway, it was such a. This was. I should have released this video because, like, I'm sure this video would have done well if I released it the day that Pokemon Z was announced. Because this came out like in April or May, not April, May, June. It came out in June when I first created the channel, and so that's what caused it to not be do real because it wasn't timely anymore. But yeah. But then a lot of, you know, this is where like my kind of like average videos are. Hey, this video is doing very well because it's only been 13 hours and it still has more views than, God, so many of my videos. But yeah, God, I did so many videos on football. Why? Pokemon channel. I should be doing Pokemon stuff. This one hurts. I put a lot of. I really shouldn't have made this video because I started working on it very soon after the direct happened, but then school got super in the way, and then I finished it in January, which like nobody was talking about this direct anymore in January. The direct was in freaking August. Who cares anymore, you know? So, yeah, I shouldn't have wasted time on this. I should have just let it go, but, whatever. Like, yeah, most of the videos that did poorly were the football ones, which, got it, lesson learned. I'm not a sports channel. I shouldn't have put so much time into that. My bad. Wasted fall is my punishment, I guess. But yeah, just 100 videos. Just 100 videos, a year of work. It's a lot to take in. It's just I'm glad I'm finally able to do this and like to be able to make this channel and do this. Cause like you know every Gen Zer of my age wanted to be a YouTuber. Like it's like being a rock star in the 80s, you know. So we all want to do this, and I am glad I did take my shot. And I'm saying that as if I'm not going to keep going, but you know, hopefully we continue to make progress. Hopefully I'll continue to grow this channel and make more cool stuff and whatnot. Hopefully by year 2 I'll have 100 subscribers, maybe more, and hopefully I'll have a video that like gets over 1,000 views. That's not my Iceberg. I'm really hoping the Amicom video does well, because like it's a video I'm really proud of, and I really cut my teeth on this one and like hardcore pushed for it, because it's a topic I really want to talk about. And like, yeah, so yes, we'll wrap this up with some more jamming out, then I'll end the stream here. Where's my pick? Shoot. Oh well. Did I forget the course on that one? That'd be really unfortunate if I did. I forgot the chords. That one. God, my hand hurts. hate that part. Bad at that. Pinky on my thing for no reason. On the fly. Think. Yeah, I ran out of stuff. Do I want to give it another shot? right there. Yeah, I think that one will wrap it up. I think that's good. A good stopping point. So, thank you all for coming down to celebrate. I look forward to so many more exciting things in the future. And just hope you all have a great week, a great summer. And I'll see you in the next video. So, until next time, bye.